Okay. Hey guys, good evening and welcome to today's live conversation. I am super excited that we are doing this today. I know that this is not our typical Saturday community gathering, but don't worry, today will be worth it. I'm super excited about today because we have a very VVIP personality here with us today, and I'm just super excited. We all know her. She is an icon. She is an amazing human here on this YouTube as well. In fact, across social media, and she's not a stranger to us. She has invited me over to her house. In other words, our community. She has hosted us there, where we discussed one of those episodes of the Real Housewives of Lagos this season, and it's such an honor inviting her to our house and she accepting the invite. And so she's here now. I can see her looking so stunning in the background. She's here now and gracing us with her presence and her wisdom. And guys, I'm just super excited. She's here to discuss with us the Real Housewives of Lagos season 3 reunion, the first part that was released on Sunday. So without further ado, please let's make welcome warmly Auntie FUMI DESALU VOLD.
Hello, Glory.
Good evening.
So
Oh
lovely
my
to see
God.
you, my lovely.
Oh
Thank you
my
so
God.
much for inviting me. It's such
Oh
an
my
honor.
God.
I love your house. It's very fabulous. And the
Thank you
Glory
so
Queens,
much.
how are you, my Glory Queens? You're fabulous, darlings. I live in love.
Oh, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. It is such an
It's
honor
an
to
honor.
have you come
It's an
here.
honor.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Thank you.
So, Auntie Kumi,
Thank you.
without wasting much of your time, let's just quickly jump right into it.
Yes.
What was your first impression of the reunion? What was your first impression?
I loved the glamour of it. I loved that all
Mhm.
the girls were widely spaced out. I don't know
Yeah.
whether that was deliberate so that the girls don't claw at each other, but I thought it was really nice, picturesque, and give them their
Mhm.
space, their moment for their beautiful dresses. I love their
Yeah.
beautiful dresses. Everybody had an abdo. It was nice to see all of them there. I loved it very much, and it was a very spicy episode. Very
Yeah.
spicy episode. I can't wait to get into it. But the first part of it, of course, was with Dabota and, of course, Sophia, you know.
Yes.
And I have a few things, but I will let you take the floor. But I loved the ambience of it. I loved the invitation. They invited us really into the conversation, and it was a refresh. What
Yeah.
happened? What they were thinking, how they carried it out, because I've got a lot of opinions. So, darling, tell me
Yeah.
when we can start.
You know what? Yeah, Mama, take your flowers because I totally agree with you. The whole aesthetic of it all, it
Mhm.
was amazing. It was stunning. And in my opinion, I think it was a much better improvement from,
Yes.
the previous reunion. The previous reunion, it was sort of like an eyesore. Everything was, it was too busy. The background, the layout, no space. Even the women's makeup, it was looking too awful. But this time around, everything was looking clean,
Mhm.
and it was
Mhm.
quite refreshing to see. So I agreed with you. However, by the time I was done watching the entire reunion, this first part, I was quite disappointed at the way the questions came, and
Mhm.
my overall verdict was, nah, this is not a reunion. This is like a gathering to sort of vindicate just two people. That was how I felt. But we're going to
Mhm.
get there, right? So let's start from the beginning, right? So the host had asked Dabota what it
Yeah.
was about Sophia that really got to her. And that her
Mhm.
response had been that, oh, it wasn't really about the boat, it was about Sophia's approach. And
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of confused. I was
Mm-hmm.
confused. So, what do you think about that opening line from Dabota?
I think that there were, I don't know how to put this, I'm just going to say it. When you have good manners, you have clear lines, you're able to express yourself, and you're able to pinpoint exactly what's bugging you, bothering you. Okay. I think in the great scheme of things, starting from, because how did Sophia enter the chat? Via Carolina, because Carolina was late. And so
Yeah.
she had contacted Dabota. There's a
Mm,
difference. And I live and love that about you because you are my twin, twin, twin. Carolina was right in that she communicated with Dabota. She's right,
mm,
but she wasn't specific, as in, Dabota, I'm going to be 2 hours late. I'm going to be
mm,
1 hour late. I'm going to be 45 minutes late. And what
mm,
happened was they were already sitting in the sun for 3 hours. As
mm,
much as Carolina communicated, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming, you came. But look at the time that you came. If you
mm,
had been much more specific to say, forget the boat for 1 minute, that I have not even left the house. I've
mm,
not left the house. By the time I put on my shoes, my lipstick, my this, my that, it's going to be another 30 minutes before I get into the car. Because of the time frame, the bridge is going to be full. That'll be another 2.5 hours. Go ahead. I am going to jump on with Sophia, and I will meet you on the other end. Also, when it came to Diadem and Dabota, because for me, I'm older. You call me Auntie Fumi, you're right. I'm going to be 56 tomorrow. And if God serves me, because they say 3 scores and 10, that's 70. That means I've got 14 years left. That means
wow.
I can't afford to waste my time. You're young. The world is ahead of you. But I've got 40. I want to see my baby. I want to run around. I want to do what I got to do. So be specific. If you cannot be specific and tell me 2, 3, 4 hours, then I am going to now dictate to you and tell you, sis, I don't mind, but I'm going to relieve myself of waiting in the sun if you're not here within an hour. Because the ambience for Dabota was for everybody to be there. That's what she paid for the boat. Now let's
Mm,
flash over. The boat came into Dabota and she couldn't express herself. I will get to Sophia in a minute.
yeah.
When Carolina said, I'm going to go onto Dabota's boat, some way, somehow, Dabota didn't like that. She didn't, because it's like I am serving wine at my house and I invite you and you bring a friend that brings Dom P. So that's a bigger bit, but that's flashier wine. She
Mm,
had paid for this, and the girls that she had invited to enjoy of what she had paid for chose not to come. We'll go with Sophia. Sophia has a boat. So it displaced her, and internally she was cheesed off. Because when they got to the beachfront house, and I did not see it, please refresh my memory, she had not met Sophia where she felt, I'm going to remove this beautiful room and not give it to Sophia. Sophia had pissed her off. Sophia had gotten the friends that of which she was going to bring, now preferred to go with her. Okay, you can have the big boat, mama. But you know what? When you get here, you're going to have the little room. I'm going to cut you down to size. Sophia said it was her boat. Correct me if I am wrong. If it is her family's boat, it's her boat. If I come to Lagos and see you, which I'm going to come with my driver. He's not my driver, it's my father's driver. I'm his daughter. That's my driver. You will even tell me, Fumi, I saw your driver. That's how we talk. I saw your driver. Having said that, I think because Sophia is the baby mama to Davido, And we were waiting for Davido to come in somehow into this, Real Housewives girls chat. It never came. So it was as if, Sophia, my money, oh, the one that Davido gave you, oh, this. And when she said my boat, it must have translated to some people like her Birkin, like her Gucci, like her
Yeah.
Chloe. I think that Sophia meant my family boat, but I have a boat of access of which I use.
Hmm.
Again, she rented a boat that took her there and brought her back, of which Dabota made sure she got the receipts. And the daughter of whom they go to school, she knows the mama, of which Sophia said. I think that there was a lot of cockiness. Hey, don't know how you spend money. Sophia said that song. I don't know how she said it, but money, people they enjoy or something like that. And so it translated off as if it really came from her purse. That was where the boat came from. But I went to school with kids that were well off. And you went to their house, you went to their house. Saw the driver, you saw how they all went to Jant. Did they buy the ticket to go to London? No, their parents did. But do you understand what I'm saying? It's the
Yes.
mentality of it. But I felt that, for argument's sake, let us say that Sophia lied. Let us say that Sophia lied. Let us say that Sophia said that, you know what, it was her boat and it wasn't her boat. Okay, that's a cute lie because it was her family's boat. It wasn't as if there was no boat that they never had. They have a boat.
Yeah.
It's their boat.
Okay. Okay. Auntie Fumi, we're going to get to the white lie, right? If we call it that.
Mhm,
But the reason I asked you what you thought about Dabota's response. Now,
mhm.
let's refresh our memories. Remember, Sophia did not appear this season, I think, until the third episode, if I'm
Mhm.
not wrong. The first time she appeared, I think it was when Mariam visited her about
Yeah,
her business,
yeah,
branding, and she wanted to discuss the opening of her new business.
yeah.
And then she and Caroline, I think they had met, they had spoken, and Caroline had told her that she was bringing her. Can't really remember now, but Caroline had mentioned that she was bringing Sophia
Mhm,
to the beach resort, right?
mhm.
And I think, according to how this Real Housewives franchise goes, somebody in a way gets to introduce a new cast member like that. I
Okay,
don't
like a
really think
friend.
there's been a kid there. Yeah, somebody just gets to introduce, just like young Primus and African. It's either
Sure.
Swanky Jerry is inviting a friend to the other
Yeah.
circle's event. Yeah. So that was supposed to be Sophia's introduction. Now, I do not think there had been a case where on the show we had seen Dabota and Sophia have a one-on-one interaction, or even amongst the other ladies where Sophia had given off any type of energy to Dabota, right? So
Yes.
when Dabota had responded to the host at the reunion that, oh, it was not really about the boat, it was about Sophia's approach. I
Yes.
got confused because I was wondering, like, okay, you people actually finally officially met at
Yeah.
the beach resort. So
Yeah.
was there any situation where people had actually met off camera before that she had rubbed you off the wrong way? What exactly was it? And that's why I was kind of confused because at that point in time, I expected the host to dig deeper, ask Dabota, when you say she rubbed you, it was her approach. What do you mean? How exactly? Because let's not forget, before Sophia arrived at the beach house, Dabota was already offended that, as you rightly said, this girl from nowhere is indirectly scattering my plans, right? So let me teach her a lesson. And so she and Diadem, they had mischievously and excitedly switched up Sophia's room. So I
Mhm.
was kind of expecting the host of the reunion to ask, what approach are you talking about? Because on sets, on the show, we've not seen you and Sophia have any form of interaction. So what are your thoughts about that?
The host has to be replaced. He's not a woman. Our instincts are sharp. It went right over his head. He didn't see it. Also, I
Yeah.
think because he's heterosexual, he is also staying in his lane where he's not being too intrusive with the ladies so that it does not come off as offensive. I think he was being polite. He introduced them, he laughed with them. Wow, you're looking gorgeous, each and every one. He was polite through the interviews, and that was not what we want for a reunion. We want to get to the meat and the potatoes, and we want to have insight. Remember, when it came to Adam and Eve, it went over Adam's head. Eve knows what she's doing. You need you, darling.
Yeah.
You need to go there. You need to be the host so that you can ask those intrusive questions, because
Mm.
it would have come to a gridlock where, upon reflection, we would have said, Dabota, exactly what are you referring to when it comes to Sophia? And that was why I said what I said. She didn't know who Sophia was. She didn't care. But this person had the audacity, the temerity to bring a boat. Does she know that I already had a boat? Because Dabota had paid all of this money for that Kodak moment, for that moment where all the girls were in the boat and the weave is blowing in the hair with the salt water and everything. She didn't get
Mm.
it. That's what she paid for. And she indirectly referred that anger to Sophia because she couldn't direct it to Carolina or to
Mariam.
Mariam. She
Mariam.
couldn't. She couldn't direct it, but that was who it should have gone to. Mariam, Carolina, as late as we stayed, you should have made that extra effort to meet us.
Mm-hmm.
I am
Yeah.
inviting you. You should have followed through. This is why I'm
True.
telling you about speaking, being upfront.
Yes.
Some people consider
Yeah.
it to be blunt, but being upfront, being very clear about your feelings, how you felt
Mm-hmm.
in that moment, because she held that in where it had nowhere to go, and she redirected it onto Miss Boot, Madame Boot. I didn't invite
Exactly.
you. You're a guest. You should. It's a privilege for you to be here amongst
Yeah.
us. That was where she
Yes.
directed it to, because she was a new cast member in relation to Mariam and Carolina. She couldn't say
Mm.
it. She didn't know how to say it. And so she redirected it to Sophia.
Mm.
That was what it was,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
they have not met each other. They had not met each other. So why
Yeah,
would that
because
be?
yeah, yeah, because even whilst at the reunion, while she was still expressing herself, she said she felt unappreciated, which is a very valid emotion for her to feel. Because as you rightly said, you want you and the girls to be in the boat, people are popping champagne, you're making videos. That's a
That's what
very
she paid
valid
for.
emotion. Yeah. So as you rightly said, I was still expecting her right there and there at the reunion to admit that she was wrong for transferring that anger, disappointment, and aggression to Sophia, who had no business to be at the receiving end. She was supposed to, and Sophia rightly said it. You should be upset at Caroline or Mariam because they were the ones that said, okay, they are late for whatever reason. They will join me. And I don't even know what's going on because there was no information, no communication. Nobody said, oh, somebody already had a boat somewhere, this is what's happening. So, and that was another instance where I was disappointed in the host again, because I was expecting the host to ask, you felt unappreciated by who? Is it by Sophia? Because clearly you directed that feeling at Sophia and not the other women. Yes. Let me hear your thoughts when you heard her express how she felt. What was on your mind?
It was a matter of status. It's a matter of hierarchy. She could be angry with Sophia because Sophia is a new kid on the block, just like her. Mariam and Caroline are not.
Mm.
Mariam had a wonderful boost of confidence this season because you didn't have Tiana there, because you did
Mm.
not have Chioma there, because you didn't have the other big honcho girls there. So Mariam found her space where she could talk and say this, that, and the third, which was wonderful. By the way, I think that she was the best dressed at the reunion. Her dress was phenomenal, and I loved the fabuloso of flying in and out of America. I've got my family, I've got my husband, Silver Fox, I've got my daughter. I don't have time for all of you all. So she was trying not to get herself too involved, which made her come always.
Yes.
She was always refreshed. She wasn't taking it personally. What's her business? business. I live in Yankee. I've got other things to deal with, Trump and the tariffs.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this, you know. And the thing was, Dabota was a new kid on the block too. And that was where it came, where Carolina or Mariam said that Dabota didn't come out and say hello to us. That again is an effrontery, the audacity of you. But that's because Diadem was new. She would never have said that to Tiana. She would never have said that to Choma. Choma would she would just lifted her Chanel glasses above her Gucci hat and said, "Are you mad?" Do you see what I'm saying? So I lived for the dynamics, for the energy, because you could see the,
Yeah.
and you could see that Diadem was the baby sister. And no matter how this plays out here in reality TV, Diadem, you're younger, you will respect me. Whether you like that, you see, it's our culture. You will still respect no matter what. It's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
with us. No matter what, you say, Auntie Fumi, even though we're out here in these YouTube streets. You understand? So that was what I peeped. And I said, well, you know what? I'll give you the floor. Sophia's crime, if at all, was that it might have come off as if it was her boat. But whoever received that way was because they look at her that she got money, she's Davido's exy baby mama, and you know
Yeah.
what, you understand. But the thing is that she been come from money. She been come from money. Her mother lives with her, her kid, she's good. She's very, very good. House or not, boat or not, whether it was hers or not, is the families of which she uses the most. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing with her sister. She uses a particular car and they've just left it. It's like kind of Ronke's car, even though it's my dad's. But it came with that extra because we were all introduced with our nails biting. Oh my God, Sophia, Davido's ex. And we were hoping
Mm.
that something would, and nothing came of it. And I think
Yeah.
Sophia deliberately did that to say, no, I'm my own person. And that was where this thing kind of sort of went, left. But when she
Yeah.
said that it was her parents, I said, well, she doesn't have to say, doesn't have to say anything. Then
Mm.
again, also some would say, if it's your families, don't say anything at all. Just say we have a boat. But I think it
Yeah.
was my boat came off as cocky, arrogant, which I also said before in my own episode that you don't have to say anything. You see, there's a difference between nouveau riche and wealthy. The wealthy are
Mm.
not trying to show their coin, the taxpayers.
Yeah.
Whereas the nouveau riche, they want you to see them blinging miles away. There's a difference.
Mm.
Class.
Okay. All right. So, Auntie, for me, about the boat now, yeah. Before we even talk about the boat, there was something I've noticed about these reality TV shows and the way they record the confessionals.
Yeah.
I learned that most of the time, confessionals are recorded after all the episodes, all the scenes are being filmed, right? And so
Oh,
somebody, yeah, that's what I learned. So it's like the women or the cast members, they are reacting. The confessionals is more like them reacting to whatever happened in each of the scenes and the episodes, right? And obviously, we know that these confessionals are edited. The show itself is heavily edited. So these reactions that these women exhibit in their confessionals, the editor will definitely cut the very, very sharp ones that will match the energy of
yes.
what they want to show to us, the
Yeah.
viewers, right?
Yeah.
Because why I'm saying this is because when Sophia was explaining the boat thing, I started trying to add two and two together, not trying to justify whether she had memory loss or whatever, but
Mhm.
here are explanation. She said that yes, she has a boat, which is a family boat, and because she's the only one that uses it, so she calls it her boat. Number
Yes.
one. Number
100%.
two, yeah. Number two, the day they were already approaching the jetty, she and Caroline and Mariam, they were approaching the jetty. It turned out that her boat was getting fueled. There was no fuel in it, so they were refueling. So they did not want to waste time because already Caroline had been late, Mariam had been late. Remember, they had been late individually before they arrived Sophia's place to go with her on a boat. So what happened was she said she had a new assistant that was pretty much new to her lifestyle, and the person had mixed up her scheduling and all. So their caretaker had to immediately send another boat to convey them to the beach house.
Mhm.
So I think that is the Princess Jasmine boat, right? So according to her, she was explaining all of this at the reunion, that when they got to Ilashe Beach, the caretaker had sent her boat, or a family boat, anyone had sent the boat. The boat had been there with them for 3 days. And then it
Mhm.
was that boat that they had left with. But from the clips that we were shown at the reunion,
Mhm.
obviously it was the same Princess Jasmine boat. So it got me wondering, like, okay, for Sophia to be very adamant that it was her boat that she left with, could it be that probably there was another mix up, probably with her assistant again, and whatnot, and then they had to leave with the Jasmine boat. And then she was trying to explain that, oh, that she and the woman that owned the boat that was sent in place of her own boat before, they had a conversation because it was more like an emergency and everything was cleared. So I'm thinking, could it be that Dabota had no idea of this whole situation that was going on with Sophia, hence her, maintaining that, oh, the boat was rented, right? So what are your thoughts about Sophia's explanation?
I think that Dabota got cheesed off and decided to do Colombo on Sophia because Sophia embarrassed her. I'll tell you where. Remember when they were all at the bonfire
Hmm.
and they had all sat down, and then Dabota said that she had paid for her boat, paid for the boat ride for everybody to come, and then you guys came on another boat. Yes? You see, for me, there's good manners and there's compassion and understanding. When Dabota expressed her disappointment, all Sophia had to say was, I'm so sorry. It didn't matter. They didn't come on her boat with Diadem. It didn't matter. It did not matter. You were late. You were not on the boat. Sophia now decided, perhaps because of how Dabota talked about it, oh no, we didn't get a boat. It was my boat. That's how this thing kicked off. It was when Sophia reiterated, let me correct you, sis. It's not any boat. It's my boat. The boat that didn't bring them eventually. Do you understand what I'm saying? That was what kicked it off. And then Dabota was like, I know she did not come out here to draw my panties in the marketplace like this, but she did. And now it reinforced the disdain she had for Sophia. And I know in her heart, she was like, thank you, Father, that I changed those rooms. This girl's got no manners. Who you be again? That was what it was. Sophia should have just kept quiet. Dabota, thank you for gracing me. I apologize also. There was so much mayhem and mix up. We have a family boat. It didn't start. It didn't have a fuel. We needed to rent another boat. A girlfriend of mine, perhaps you even know her, a mutual friend. They go to school with the children. And that was how we came. I was invited via Carolina, and I do feel some sort of responsibility because nobody wants to pay that colossal amount of money, and then it's an empty. It's like preparing all this food, and then everybody comes, no, not hungry, I'm on a diet, and then you walk off. It's the preparation, it's the paying, it's the putting everything in place, it's having this Kodak moment and picture that was taken away from her carelessly by
Hmm.
Carolina and by Mariam, of whom they had the common sense not to say anything. But this one that has horns
Yeah.
on her head comes now to talk about, by the way, it's my boat. Then went inside to come and give everybody gifts but the boater. And I'm a very contained person. I would have said, Sophia, you're rude. If I
Okay.
didn't say it before, I'm saying it now. You're rude. That's where this thing kicked off. We did not know it was a boat until Sophia opened her mouth and said it. And it
Okay,
wasn't.
Auntie Fumi. Okay, Auntie Fumi. I mean, we're probably going to have a bit of a back and forth here. Guys, Auntie Fumi and I, we are not fighting, no. We're just, yeah. This is
Guys, I'm
exciting.
enjoying it. Abi, how do you see it?
Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, one thing I appreciate about you is you always come from this very wisdom field angle, and I love it, right? I love it. So for me, I feel like it's my strong-headedness that is making me really nitpick, because here, if we cast our mind back to the bonfire night, if in fact before
Okay.
even the bonfire night, remember Dabota and Diadem, they were rightfully upset about the lateness and all.
Yes. Yes.
Dabota had, used some sort of mingle energy to
Yes.
change the
Yes.
rooms.
Yes.
That one was there. Now, remember, she and Caroline and Mariam, they had communicated. And those two had told her, we're coming on Sophia's boat. Now, here is where I felt like there's a personal agenda between Dabota and Sophia. And this reason I'm wondering, like, have these two people encountered each other off screens before? Because it seems like there's more to this conversation. Because fine, they mentioned that, oh, we're coming on Sophia's boat. It's like that really got to her. Aside her having planned and paid for a boat and all, it's like she, what's that called? She doubted, like, why, how did Sophia get a boat? Why would Sophia have a boat? This is someone, like, let's assume for the sake of the show, you've never met her before, because that's what women always say. Oh, I don't know her, we're not friends, we're just acquaintances, or we
Mhm.
just meet at events, right? So
Mhm.
what made her doubt that Sophia had a boat? And it seemed like that really stuck to her, to the point that during that her speech at the bonfire, at the fire pit here, that she was talking about, oh, you people are late and you people had to go and rent a boat. For me, it's the language used there. It's like you're trying to
Mhm.
belittle this woman that, in quotes, you feel has sold lies to these other women that, oh, I have a boat. So for me, I felt like, why was it necessary for you to say you people rented a boat? There are different vocabs that she could have used, like you people came on another boat, you people had to come on another boat. What makes you think, or what made you so sure that they rented a boat? Because remember, there was the confessionals of how she reacted at hearing that Sophia had a boat. And it felt like that was really what was stinging her. So what do you think about her choice of words? Because let's be honest, from that episode, we saw that our anger had shifted from Mariam and Caroline being late, and it was all about Sophia, this girl that claims to have a boat. So,
Yes.
what do you think about her choice of words? I mean, I understand that Sophia might be a bit rude, for trying to correct her that no, it's my boat, I have a boat. But for Dabota as the host, having that information she already had and weaponizing it and then trying to belittle Sophia by saying, oh, people rented a boat. What do you think about that?
Okay. I tell you this. Everybody knows everybody. They know each other. They know of each other, the blogs. They know who Sophia is. They know who Dabota is. Because remember when it was going to get a little bit catty, they said, well, you don't have to bring about the blogs or whatever because we all read about everybody. Do you understand what I'm saying? You also brought out the valid point that this is so choppy when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to editing. We really don't know. It could have been a situation, hypothetically say, that when Carolina said, I'm going to jump onto Sophia's boat, remember that they are at the jetty in the hot sun with a phone. She said, let me just double check here and find out exactly what boat, whose boat, whatever. She might have gone to do CIA on Sophia to find out. Yeah, right there and then to say, since when did Homegirl have a boat? Because again, like I said, it is like me having a car of which I have rented and bought for my girlfriends to come on this wonderful event, cruise, whatever, let us say. And you out of the blue say, Fumi, I'm so sorry, my darling. I am going to go on to into Mariam's limo. I didn't
Mm.
invite Mariam. And who is this one that has a limo? Because she has taken in her head, she's taking away glory from me. She took glory, and glory decided to go with Mariam. I'm upset. I'm pissed off. Why do I want to drive on the limo on my own? That was not the point. If that were the case, I wouldn't have rented this limo. It was almost a waste of my money. Do you see what I'm saying? It was a, she felt it was a waste of her to, and it was, to rent that boat for £1,000 equivalent, I think. That's a lot of money for you to waste and nobody shows up. And then they decide to go somewhere else. I think Dabota would have even preferred to wait there for all of them to come as late as it was. But she was dismissed. And it wasn't that she was dismissed. It's the perfect storm where coincidentally there were other ABC plans because Lagos is hectic. If I can't get to you this way, let me start making other plans. And I think Carolina was right. She didn't mean anything by it. I think Carolina, honestly, because she extended her apologies and her explanation to Diadem, which I thought was very classy of Carolina. She didn't have to. I think what Carolina did unconsciously without processing it, she thought it was enough for her to let them know, as opposed to the time would have really helped. If you're going to be, for me, my inner circle know me very well. If you're going to be 45 minutes late, you're taking 45 minutes for me to sit here and do nothing when I can be doing something else, when I could have gone to pick up the package from the post office, this, that, or whatever. I don't mind that you are late. Just tell me to free me so that I can do other things. I have other girlfriends that have now come to realize they just don't get it. I give you 30 minutes. As Diadem was waiting for Mariam, I'd have left. I wouldn't have called about the 30 minutes. I want to tell you 35, really 25, because I am out and in my car 30 minutes and I'm out. I value my time. I'm a brand owner. I've got stuff to do. Plus, I'm a mom. I'm not going to sit here for you to squeeze in because no matter how you try, I'm pissed off now. The event, the meeting, the lunch is destroyed. It's spoiled. You spoiled it because you were not specific with me. Is it a little bit too rigid? That's the kind of life I live. It's a very rigid life. But I find that I do very well with that. You go to the airport to catch a plane, so you can't make it. You just chose not to. Because when it was to go to Ghana, they were all there. So why couldn't you make it for this? It wasn't as important. Indirectly, they do not respect my time. So you don't respect me. And that's the issue I have. That's the problem I have with the girls. And that's why, in this case, any which way you want to slice it, you destroyed her time. She spent money for the boat. It was only Diadem on the boat, and Diadem is good with her time. That's why I said Hope will succeed. Her brand will do well. She's on time. She understands the currency of time, not to make the currency, but what time can provide in translating it into currency. And that's what I do. If you tell me it's this time, I have that window because I've got meetings. I want to see my son. I want to see my husband. I want to work out. I've got to cook. I want to see my mama. I want to see my sister. I've got stuff to do. My day is chock-a-block. You intervene, it's a domino effect. And I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And I'm very direct. And I am very, very blunt. I will tell you, and I will tell you, don't do it again. You do it again, you won't see me here.
So Auntie Fumi,
do you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That if it was very clear lines, let it be clear. You speak English. Let it be very clear. I'm going to be 1:45 minutes late, 30 minutes late, whatever. No problem. Homegirl did all of this in the same breath of how Sophia did all of this for Ghana, and they had this jet, a private flight. And then when they got to the venue, a bit to the home, food was laid out. So that means that if you are 4 or 5 hours late, that food will be cold. Then the staff that is there waiting for you, then the taxi that's waiting for you to usher you, it's a domino effect. You cannot demand from others of which you choose not to give them. That's not fair.
And you're actually right, Auntie Fumi. You're actually right. Hence the reason I still felt like this whole thing, right? This whole Dabota would never have had an issue with Sophia because you could see how easily they bonded. Okay, maybe not really bonded, but how easily they were able to flow after they had that conversation at Ghana. I just felt like, production sort of let her off the hook. I felt like they actually pampered her in this reunion because there were questions that needed to be had. There were
Mhm.
questions that they needed to ask her. Why did she transfer all of that aggression to Sophia when clearly the people she should have been really mad at were Mariam and Caroline? There's
Yeah.
also the part where the host had asked Sophia that, oh, how did you feel when you watched the show and then you discovered that you initially had a good room, but then Dabota switched off the room? I felt like, no, that question should first had been thrown to Dabota. Dabota
Mhm.
needed to really explain
Mhm.
why she had done
Mhm.
what she did.
Mhm.
If anything, the people she should have actually done that to, if she really needed to do that, was to Caroline and maybe Mariam, but at least to Caroline herself, or maybe just pick one of the ladies to do that too. Why did it have to be Sophia, who is more like a stranger to you? Why was that the case? So I really expected the host, they should have played that clip just like they were playing the clips of these other women. They should have played that clip the way Dabota and Diadem were excited and they were giggling like high school girls and switching up the names on the doors. They should have played the clip and they should have asked her because she really needed to answer. I felt like, nah, that was weird. You people asking Sophia that question, no. Let Dabota explain first. Then Sophia would have given a reaction to how she felt then and how she feels now, and then Dabota apologizing. I felt like she was kind of using some sort of reverse psychology in that apology, saying, I did not like seeing myself during that. I said, nah, that's not an apology.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, fine. She apologized for someone that says she never apologizes to anybody. But
Yeah.
on a second look at the apology, I said, nah, that's not really an apology. That's her trying to play the victim, the one person that had suffered from all of these things. And she made me behave the way I behaved. I did not
Yeah.
like seeing myself. I mean, what do you think about that whole scenario?
I think that Dabota gave 100% mean girl energy. Mean girl energy. I was kind of shocked, disappointed that Dabota did that because up until then, she had come off to me as a very controlled, personality. She was
Yeah.
very in control. She's not somebody that would be swayed from emotion. As a
Mm,
host, at any stage, at any time, you take the worst room. If she was
yeah.
teaching to upgrade Sophia, that would have made sense. To downgrade her was so classless. It was so mean girl. You're going to be living for a couple of days in a home that you don't know. And I don't know whether it happens to you, but it does to me when I travel a lot or when I'm on tour and I change
Mm,
a lot of hotels. In the middle of the night, I don't even really know where I am, and I don't even know where the bathroom is. It can be very unnerving to receive that hostility, and then you're meant to sleep there. It's not nice, and it wasn't necessary. Dabota,
mm,
1 billion%. You lost your case for me when you did that because that's me. She's not your house girl. She's not your
yeah.
servant. She's a guest. And as far as I'm concerned, again, like I said, unless they cut it out, I did not see in any place where they had communicated up until then. There wasn't
Mm,
anything. You now gave me room to now put assumptions for myself because you didn't
yeah.
make it clear. You didn't make it clear why. The only thing that I could sew together and say, well, she's the girl with the boat. And she didn't like the fact that she spent all of this time, effort, and time and money into
Yeah.
driving an empty boat from the GT all the way to the beachfront. And as far as I'm
Mm,
concerned, she wouldn't dare bring out any antagonist attitude towards Carolyn and Maria.
mm,
They'll eat her up. Who are you?
mm,
Again, you're the new kid on the block. Be quiet. Hence
mhm.
why Dabota and Diadem decided to pair up. The two of us will be strong because we need this, because this is just our first season. And what is that? Did you see balloons just now? Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I'm seeing likes.
Oh my God.
I don't know where it's coming from,
I
but
don't
it's
know. I
cute.
don't know. I don't know. And so that is how I saw it. It
Mm,
wasn't necessary. I did appreciate though that she came out to greet them. She came out to greet them and take them to their rooms. Of where now, which I find interesting, I don't understand also, you know, again, Sophia, I don't like my room. Again, classless. You don't have to instantly, you're not paying for anything here. You are being hosted. Maybe later on you say, oh, I'm not really crazy about my room. And even for me, I don't think I would have done that. I would have just shared with Mariam or Carolyn or something. Or I'll have slept there in the night. If I don't know, come and squeeze me, whatever. But I wouldn't have said that. I would have just, taken it for what it was. Most especially when you came back out with those gifts. It was deliberate. It was and she admitted it. I
Hmm.
just think that you have to have the drama for the show. If you don't have the drama, you don't have a show, unless nobody
Hmm.
will watch it. And I already feel that it wasn't as high voltage as when, Yabo and the other girls were here. So we have to make do with what we got. It was for the views. It was for us to have eyeballs on it.
Hmm.
And I saw it for what it was. I just thought it was very unnecessary. It was a tic-tac-toe, and they had to have something. But
Yeah.
Dabota was necessary at all. You should never, ever, ever, ever have touched that room. You should have let Sophia have a room. And the thing is that let her feel guilty. Let her feel bad that she messed up, that she talked carelessly, and yet you treated her so graciously, so kindly, and look at how she behaved. Out of pure guilt, she would have gone out of her way to make sure not to give you only one dress, but 10 dresses. Dabota, I'm sorry. Dabota, I'm sorry. Dabota, please. You understand? But they both misbehaved.
Yeah, and you see, another thing I noticed, right? You see, with these reality TV shows, a full cast member or a pitch holder, as they call them in the abroad franchise, they know that yes, I am a lead cast member this season.
Yes,
So when I am getting introduced to the clique, I know my privileges, I know my
yes,
rights. So as I'm
yes,
stepping in, I'm expecting to experience the full length of my
yes,
privileges. So
yes.
when Sophia arrived at the beach house, I felt like she already knew that she's a
Cast
like a legit member already, so she was expecting those privileges. So I think that I don't like my room. I think it was kind of directed at production, who already would have given her the heads up that, oh, you're going to meet these set of women, this is your first time engaging with all of them at the same time. So I felt like she was actually expecting the same privilege that all the other women had. Hence the reason Caroline was telling Dabota that no, she's not a plus one. She's one of us. She's a full-fledged member of this circle. Now, that on the side, if you compare how friends of the other cast members step into different roles, different scenes, you see that maybe they complain, we don't know, maybe they edit it out, but you see that they don't really have a say as to how they are introduced or how they step in or how they go off and on. They don't really have a say, right? But when it's the women themselves, the actual cast member, you see that they easily complain about something or not. If you cast your mind back to, was it season one when they had gone to Dubai? I think it was two people that shared a room. Was it Chioma and Iyabo? I think there were two people that actually shared a room, just so
Yeah,
that, yeah, just so that everybody had a room with a view, the full extent of the
yes,
experience.
yes,
You
yes,
remember?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So I
yes,
was
yes, yes,
actually
yes.
thinking that, okay, well, just as you rightly suggested, if they had maybe Dabota had said, okay, Sophia, because you organized this mess with your boat, you will
Yeah,
share a room with either Mariam or Caroline, then
yes,
we would have had more to say if Sophia even managed to complain about
yeah,
anything that, oh, would you have preferred the room that's looking out to the trash or a
yeah.
room with a view that is more comfortable? I don't know if you
I
see it from
understand
the
exactly
photo.
what you're saying. You know what it is? There are loopholes because we don't know. We don't know
Mm,
whether it was production that told her, whether she knew like a heads up, whether she knew that maybe her room would. You see, because they're not clear lines, we don't know.
mm,
And we don't know, you understand, whether, because you bring up a very valid point. Now I'm asking myself, why did Sophia now feel that perhaps it was Dabota that had something to do with it as opposed to production?
mm,
Do you see? But I don't know.
mm.
You're right. We have to have the different host. The host did
Yeah.
not ask these
The
questions. You're
whole
right. He asked nothing.
yeah. All
He
right.
asked
Let's just
nothing.
move away from the boat situation
Yes.
now to um, Caroline and Dabota. So Caroline still insisted that she communicated, she was transparent, and Dabota said no, she was not entirely direct with her plans. I don't even know what to say at this point in regards to those two women. I think you mentioned something earlier, but I would love to hear from you again. What is the difference between someone being transparent and someone being entirely direct? Because I think when someone is transparent, you can literally see what is behind the other screen, right?
Yeah.
You can see what is entirely on the other side. So if you say someone was transparent but not entirely direct, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Transparency means that I've got nothing to hide. I'm showing you what I'm doing. Yes. As you can see me, you can see me, you can see my blouse. I'm being transparent. Yeah.
Mm,
But you don't necessarily know when I'm going to get undressed or or if I'm going to change out and do another live. You have no idea.
mhm,
All we said was
mhm,
that we'll come and we'll kiki over this. We don't have a time frame. It wasn't necessary because in this case, I really enjoy your company, so we can go on as long as we want. Do you see what I'm saying? But when you are
mm,
direct, it means that I don't mind coming on here, but I can only be here for a certain amount of time. I think
mm,
that was what Dabota meant. Be direct, as in being clear. And I think Dabota, they misunderstood each other because Dabota
mm,
could have also said, how long exactly? How many hours? Where
mm,
exactly are you? Are you leaving right now? Because that way I
mm,
can have an idea of whether is it worth it for me to stay or is it
mhm,
better for us to go by you telling me exactly what kind of time frame we have. I think that was
mm,
what it was. And because it didn't translate, somebody got upset, the other one got frustrated because
mm,
Carolyn felt, oh my God, I'm not understanding. She was so cocksure of herself that she didn't really, I think that she was kind of upset, mad, and said, I'm not understanding how you guys are trying to tell me I didn't, I wasn't transparent with you. You were, Carolyn. You very much were. You were to the point that you are the one that told us that you were going on another boat with Sophia. That was her transparency. She didn't lie. You understand? She didn't say, I'm coming, I'm on my way, and leave it at that. Sometimes, and I do it, some emails, I'll be on my way. Okay, this. I don't go into detail because I don't feel that they need to know that information. She could have easily said, Dabota, I'm coming. I'm running behind. I'm coming. I'll be there in a hot minute. But she went on to tell how she was coming. Hence, that was how Sophia got the stray bullet because now we know that Sophia was in the chat with her own boat. It was Carolina who conveyed that information. Mariam said, I was with my husband. He has just arrived and I was busy with him. Do you understand what I'm saying? So she said, if you're a married woman, then you'll know what that all entails. A little bit of bedroom service, a little bit
I
of
don't
cooking,
know.
a little bit of packing, a little bit of unpacking, a little bit of present that you bought for her. Let me talk about
Yeah.
the baby. Let me talk about this one. Massage him very well. Make sure that the house girl has cooked all the egbono food and everything.
Mhm,
The houseboy, the driver, he's good. So that by the time he sleeps, wake up, he hasn't even missed her because he hasn't needed her for anything. I was on wife duties. That's what she
mm,
said. Didn't go into detail. Do you understand what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
I feel that it was just, oh my God, this is just so cool. I live for this. So I think that it was just that it wasn't translated. They heard each other and they didn't understand each other.
Mm, mm. I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree with you because you could clearly see the confusion on both their faces. This one is saying, but I communicated, and this one is like, I didn't
Mhm.
get what you were saying. And I totally understood. And I would never try to invalidate Dabota and Diadem's feelings. Nobody wants to be kept waiting. I cannot, especially under this Lagos cooking sun. Lagos sun is harsh. I don't want to
Remember,
wait for anybody.
where they were waiting, they still hadn't left the house.
Hmm.
They still hadn't left. She spoke to Mariam. She spoke to Carolina. They still
Yeah.
hadn't left. They'd
Yeah.
already been there for 3 hours.
Hmm.
I couldn't
Hmm.
do it. It couldn't be me. It
You
could
see,
not be me.
And for me, something also came to mind though. And this is not directed to any of the women now, but I'm thinking that does production actually have a hand in this? Because
Yes.
in season one, I can't remember if it was Chioma or who. Was it Chioma or Laura that said it in, was it an interview that production has a way of pitting them against each other? You remember in season one, Chioma had the badge for the late comer of the season.
Yeah.
So I think, was it Chioma? I can't remember who said it in one of their interviews like that, that there's something that production does. They will tell some people, come at this time. They'll tell you, come at this time. So somebody is there waiting, and then you that they told to come 3 o'clock, you think you are early. And then you arrive and you see that others are already waiting, and then they're attacking you, and you are very confused, like, no, but I'm early. This was the time I was given. So it made me wonder, like, does production have a hand in this? Could it be that they wanted to set the tone for the drama in the season? Because if you look at the first part of the reunion, production, the host, was more concerned about the boat.
Mhm.
And it made me wonder, like, wait, is this a setup? What exactly is going on here? So, what are your thoughts about that?
It's very simple, straightforward. The production tell you to come at this time. End of. When did production tell you that you are to be here?
Hmm.
They told you 5? Okay, fine. Then I have to have a word with production because you're not going to waste my time trying
Hmm.
to get the storyline. Doesn't make sense. You can let us both be here, pretend, and then we can go from there. But to really waste my
Hmm.
time and have me pissed off and looking crazy on these airwaves, not cute. But again,
Yeah,
communication is key. Gloria, darling, what
absolutely.
time did production tell you to get here? Because I'm not trying to make enemies. It's so easy
Yeah.
to be friends than to be enemies. And I have to respect you. I don't think that you just be laying around all over the place for 4 hours. You would have come in there with confidence and said, why is Fumi squeezing her face? I don't have time for this, you know? And then come to find out that Glory was given this time, 5 o'clock.
Hmm.
It was given 1 o'clock. End of
Hmm.
conversation. My beef is no longer with you, it's with production.
Yeah.
Because this right here is what's happening. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe.
Hmm.
I can the thing is, if you give me a plate of rice and you don't bring the stew, I have only two options. Either you forgot or it was deliberate. If you don't
Yeah.
answer, you give room for me now to fill in those gaps and come up with my own decisions and ideas. And in so
Yeah.
doing, causing chaos. And that is maybe what that is. Because then
Yeah.
people are looking and say, but this, that, and the third. But because you give no option. So that's why I'm
Hmm.
coming up with my ideas. Because
Yeah.
there's nothing here, nothing to tell me different.
Yes.
See?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Communication is key. I totally agree with you. Okay. Let's quickly move on. Let's quickly move on to, and so for me, really, I hope you're not tired because we
I
have to
love it.
keep
No, we're
going.
here. We're here.
Yes.
We're here. We're here. Don't
All
worry. No, no,
right.
no, no. We're here. I'm free
All
today.
right. Nice. Okay. So Diadem and Sophia. Um, when the host had asked Diadem about that look on her face, her countenance, obviously we saw what happened at the fire pit.
Yeah.
Now, Diadem had claimed that at the point where she had jumped into that altercation between Dabota and Sophia, still at the beach house, that, oh, Caroline, get your friend. And Caroline had said, no, don't do that. Sophia is a friend to all. She's one of us. And
Mhm.
Diadem immediately jumped in. She's not my friend, though. She's not my friend, though. Diadem's defense to that on the reunion was that at the fire pit, Mariam had said something in Yoruba to Sophia, and then
Mhm.
she had tapped Sophia on the back, like, don't worry, I got you. And Sophia
Mhm.
had like, no, don't worry, I'm a one woman mopo, I've got myself.
Mhm.
Diana said, oh, because of that, she had to deny any sort of friendship with Sophia later on. I felt like Diadem was not entirely honest. And
Mhm.
as much as I really adore her, she's so adorable. It's
Mhm.
not once, it's not twice. I feel like she's fond of taking up the victim card. Because if you remember, Auntie Fumi, something had happened before then, right?
Mhm.
The whole 3 hours lateness, when the ladies arrived at the beach house, they did not see Diadem. So there was no way for Sophia to say, oh, I'm sorry. And she probably did not even think Diadem was there. I don't know, right?
Mhm.
And then when the ladies, Caroline, Mariam, Sophia, they were, joining Dabota and Diadem at the fire pit.
Mhm.
There were greetings shared, but Diadem was sort of cold,
Mhm.
rightfully so. She was still
Mhm.
upset about the lateness.
Mhm.
Um, don't you think that her coldness sort of rubbed off wrongly on Sophia? And so Sophia had to be guarded, and she had to, give Sophia what's her name, Diadem, space. Because remember, she checked on Diadem again. Diadem was like, I'm cool, I'm cool. And she was on her phone. And
Mhm.
then Diadem's second excuse to why she was frowning was that she was attending to light situation, which honestly, it was kind of weird to me
Mhm.
because there are so many ways anybody that uses prepaid meters in Nigeria could go about that. But what are your thoughts about that? Do you think it was okay for the Adam to omit the first part of that scene, onto just saying she was just being protective of herself?
You see, as Diadem and Dabota talked, Mariam, Carolina, and Sophia talked because they were making their way there. You remember when Mariam called Dabota to tell Dabota, I'm sorry I'm late, I'm with my uncle. And Diadem pitched in and said, it's not nice that you're so late. Do you understand? Maybe
Hmm.
some way, somehow, Mariam had mentioned that to Carolina to say they're not happy with us. So when we get there, just make an chill. When they did get there, Mariam came out as the host, as she should, to welcome them. Diadem didn't have to. But if everything had been copacetic, Diadem would have come out there, here, oh my God, girl, you guys are here, let's have
Yeah.
fun, whatever. Do you understand?
Yes.
Sophia, not having met those two, is already on her guard. The bedroom, already on her guard. So she's like, you know what? Oh, baby. If you remember, Mariam had said, I have a house at home. I would have left in her confessionals. I will never forget, she's actually said that if it was her, she would have left because I have a house at home and I don't need to be treated that way. That lets me know the kind of discussions they had behind the scenes with Sophia. Okay. Sophia doesn't speak Yoruba. And so she was on her guard. And then this same Diadem, who now wants to speak up and stand for her, was not there when she came. I'm sure in that moment when Diadem patted her on the back, it could have been fine if they were friends, if they had been introduced to each other. But it was at the fire pit of where there was again angst and hostility from Dabota about the boat. And so Sophia was on her defense. She was kind of being defensive, not sure where all of this is going, and told Diadem, it's okay, you don't have to fight for me. Because Sophia was still in fight mode. She was flight or fright. Still wasn't sure. Remember that from the house, they came to the pit, of which it continued. And then,
But remember, Diadem had given Sophia the cold shoulder from her
oh,
greetings.
there you go. So Diadem now felt embarrassed that I'm trying to this thing and you just shut me down because it was very fabulous. Sophia said, I don't know you. And she responded back to her in English, meaning that I know we both understand that. Yeah, press back, sis. So Diadem internally said, you witch, I will not stand up for you throughout this event. I will leave you there to dry. And she went onto her phone. And I believe from the embarrassment and the flushed red face, she was annoyed. And she was annoyed, of course, because these people that even came late, then you're coming with an attitude. If you do not have any electricity, light, NEPA at home, again, manners. Guys, excuse me, I need to sort out this little thing that's happening at home. I'll be right back. Just excuse yourself so that everybody will know that your facial expressions have nothing to do with what is going on here at the fire pit. But for you to
Mm-hmm.
sit there, we are not mind readers. And again, I'm going to string and buttonhole everything I can see because you're not giving me any options. I'm not a mind
Mm-hmm.
reader. You did not share with us that something's happening at home. But you know what, guys, continue. I'm here. Oh, this thing's so irritating. But don't worry, continue. It's just something at home, Sha. I will finish up. You sit out there and you're sulking. What am I supposed to do? I am an intelligent individual where you've just been shunned by Sophia. Now you're scowling. Of course, I'm going to put the two together and say, perhaps
Mm-hmm.
that's why. Because you, Diadem, did not give me any other option. You didn't. Do you see? So it's all bad manners and lack of expression and lack of communication. It's all, this little thing. Whereas it's not necessary. Be direct. And in this case, Sophia was very direct because she said, you know what, on that thought, hold that thought, and went to go and get the present. That was very direct to say, Dabota, I got anything for you. Now, what I want to understand is that, did you come all that way to not have anything for Dabota because Dabota did not respond to you? Or did you feel, or why did you bring it? Maybe it was whether it's necessary to give them, not necessary to give them. It was very bold of her because Dabota could have said, you know what, don't even bother to unpack. Start getting back with the boat that you brought and go back because I'm not prepared for all of this. And that's how it escalated and spilled over till the following day, where Carolina now decided to bring them and address them again and told Diadem that, no, don't make your hand like this. And Diadem said, I'm being slashed left and right out here in these streets. That's how I saw
Mm.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, top, very, very spot on, very spot on. Because as you rightly said, right, I think sometimes these women use words loosely,
Mm,
oh, this is how I am. You cannot poke me and dictate how I should react, right?
mm,
So fine. Um, the other ladies were late, rightfully so. Diadem was frowning. It's expected, right? But then curtsy, they've thrown greetings. If you don't respond warmly, what makes you think that suddenly you're going to switch up and say, "Oh, I've got your back," and they
that
too, they're going to
that
be
was
warm to you? No. So it's
there you
like
go.
actions begets reaction. So they gave an action, you reacted, fine. You gave an action, Sophia reacted. So why not just own up to that? Yeah. So
Mhm.
I totally agree with that, Auntie Fumi. And there's the other part of Sophia not bringing a dress for Dabota. The host had asked her at the reunion, and she had said, honestly, I did not have Dabota's measurement as at the time of making these dresses for the women, which made me wonder again, who gave the instruction for Sophia to distribute the dresses if it was not complete? Was she supposed, because that felt like, okay, I've been attacked by this woman and treated poorly, so let me retaliate. So I'm thinking, is that a good enough excuse? What do you think about that, Antifumi?
I thought it was petty. The same way Dabota changed the rooms. I thought it was petty. And remember when
Yeah.
the girls came to see her by the poolside, and she was wearing
Mm,
that beautiful aqua blue green, chiffon blouse. And she said yes, she got into her feelings and she decided to give out the gifts because that was her own way of giving it back to Dabota for the way Dabota had tried to, drag her at the fire pit. It could have
mm,
easily been where it escalated and the crew said, you know what, give out the gifts, let's add more to this, and
mm,
she did. My point being is that, why did you bring them? Maybe she was told to bring them. Maybe they were
mm,
already there. Maybe it was a situation because at the end of the day, if she had had a wonderful room, she had been hosted, and Dabota had not even brought up about the trip at the fire pit. Just forget about it. Let's move on. We're here. Let's not drag it out. I don't think that Sophia would have brought out the gifts because the host of all that's hosting you and gracious to you and making an effort, that would directly hurt her feelings. There's no way I would come and see you, my darling. No way, Gloria, I'll come and see you. You're hosting me. I'm in your home. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to entertain you. And I brought gifts for everyone and I did not bring for you. It means that
True.
everybody would have to wait and I would deliver them with the driver when hers was ready
Yes.
because she is the priority. She's numero uno. She's the
Yeah.
host. Do you see? But she did that in retaliation to how she was received at the fire pit.
Mm.
He said, you want to go low? I'll show you I can go lower. You don't even know. I've got yet another little surprise for you. And the butler was like, oh my God. That was why she ran to the beach and said, don't let me drown, but please give me the energy, the patience, and understanding to deal with this folk. My God, never again.
No,
In
my
luxury
God. Yeah.
so easier than to travel with these girls because I don't
Mm.
have time for this. So she went to the beach, like, you know what? I'm a mother. I've got stuff. Remember, she went to call her friend to say, I'm here. Please pour in me some positivity and patience because it's running thin. And maybe that was when she went to go and look at the boat to say, this is not even Sophia's boat. Oh my God. Click, 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 click. The receipts are receipting.
Now the pettiness from all sides. It made the season quite
My God.
exciting. To be honest, I was
5-year-old.
enjoying it. Yes, but I think for me, on a lighter note, let's talk about Diadem and Mariam's beautiful reunion. It was funny because it was just so obvious that these two women had missed each other so much. But
Yes.
because it seemed like the group was divided already. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fighting for my friend. Me,
Yeah.
for Mariam, oh, I'm trying to be neutral. I don't want to
Yes.
be on anybody's side. They
Yes.
just had to separate, but you could tell that they had missed each
Yes.
other. How did you feel about that and making the first move? I felt like that was really bold. And I think the first sense of maturity I saw Diadem exhibit this entire season.
There's a saying, and it
Hmm.
happens to all of us. You have that boyfriend who does you wrong, but the love you have for him always
Yeah.
lets you give him one or two passes because the
Hmm.
love you have for them overrides the offense they did to you. Diadem loves Mariam. Mariam is her big
Yes.
sister. Mariam's a big sister, and Mariam, and when you love is when you're hurt, and the first cut is the deepest
Yep.
because they, as they let us know, that they talked for hours, no matter the
Mm-hmm.
time. She would pick up the phone, and they would laugh and they would kiki. In
Hmm.
Mariam's defense, I think that was why she didn't take heed to Diadem's wails and cries of not pursuing the phone call with Caroline because
Yes.
they talked. Had they not been close like that,
Hmm.
I wouldn't have done it because she don't
Hmm.
know her like that. And you see, but because they had talked behind the scenes, Mariam just said, please, what are you talking about? Caroline must come. Don't be upset. That's how she
Hmm.
took it. She didn't
Absolutely.
really see that Diadem was really pissed off. That was the
Yes.
mistake until it was too late. You see that
Hmm.
Mariam was still trying to do hierarchy. No, I can't apologize. No, but as soon as Diadem came, she melted. I love you. I love you
Hmm.
too. I love you. I love you too. Had
Yeah.
that not been revealed to me that they were bedroom buddies, I mean, that they talked on the phone at nighttime and they kikied, then I would
Hmm.
have blamed Mariam and said Mariam had no regard. She came in there
Yeah.
with no respect. But that's what friends do. Christina comes here and
Yeah.
takes my clothes. I said, Christina, did you take that dress? She said, yes. Now, why did you ask me? I didn't know now. Why are you annoyed? Please, because we're friends, we're sisters.
Yeah.
Do you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
sisters, that's what we do,
Yeah.
and we don't take it to be anything because if I don't come to you, who do I come to now? Is it not you that I love? Is it not you that
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable with to be gisting, laughing, and be doing? And that
Hmm.
was how Mariam came in. She barely sat down. When she said, Carol, where's Carol? I bet let me call Carol because she's in her sister's house
Hmm.
until really Diadem went off. And
Yeah.
that was when Mariam really saw it. I said, wait. I'm not this thing or whatever. And that's how it took off. And it was done. It was their
Yeah.
apology to each other. I'm sorry, sis. Let's not take
Yeah.
this further. I haven't seen you also. Because remember, they were there for the reunion. The second they come up out of there, they won't see each other. Diadem was
Mm.
determined to squash this here and now on air. And it didn't mean it for her. She didn't care if it cost her little baby sister to apologize without apologizing first. Because Mariam, I live for you.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I loved their own personal reunion because, of course, they are the Adeyemi
Yeah.
sisters. I think they bear the same surname, which is also
See,
very beautiful.
see,
But one thing I noticed about Mariam's friendship with each of these women, and for me, I don't know if you've noticed it too. This season, it seems like boundaries were really broken and crossed a lot this season. Unlike season one, season two, that people were kind of threading carefully, this season, Mariam, we call that the instigator, she really broke a lot of the boundaries, i.e., the way she would ask, for instance, Diadem, oh, who's your boyfriend now? I think she literally asked almost all the women there, what's
yeah,
happening in your life? She's
yeah,
really probing into their privacy. And this wasn't something that was very common in the previous seasons. And I think that goes to show that aside the war, the fights and all, they were able to build some level of friendship. I think the only serious rift this season is what is going on with Caroline and Dabota. Away from that, I think every other person, they were sort of comfortable with
yeah,
each other. And I
yes,
don't know who hosted. I think it was Caroline that hosted that girls' event that they were
yeah,
playing truth or dare. I
yes.
think I think on this franchise, this Lagos franchise, I think it's the first time I'm actually seeing the women really get so cozy with each other like that. And I was just super proud of all of them because, oh my God, season one, season two, cast members are like kind of
Woo,
toxic,
woo.
toxic.
They would have spat out my bones. I would not have
Yes.
lived. I think you're right. I think that this was a certain wonderful collaboration of girls where they were
Hmm.
confident and comfortable to say, who are you dating? Glory, how far now?
Yeah.
Bobo. You understand? Because they're just trying to chit chat. What's happening? You understand me? What's going? Not to probe, but to make conversation. I don't think
Hmm.
Mariam was really interested in who you're dating as opposed to breaking the ice. Let's get all of that EGBG out of the way, because I'm
Hmm.
married. You understand me? Who are you dating? What's happening? Abby, this, that, and the third. I think that was what it was more than anything, because
Yeah.
perhaps talking about clothes or talking about fashion or talking about would have been too flimsy. And you had about three girls. Yes, you had Laura, you have Diadem and Dabota all in the beauty industry. So
Yes.
that was obvious. So it was more
Yeah.
a situation where Laura married, Maria married, Carolina, we know what happened over there. You understand me? So girls, what are we working with? Because we had, of
Yeah.
course, no need, and nobody went down that rabbit hole with Sophia because we knew the ex was Davido. So it only left
Yeah.
Diadem and Dabota because you already know my personal life in a sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I
all I saw.
particularly loved the scene. I particularly loved the scene where Mariam had visited Sophia's house. And I
Yes,
think just as we you talked about breaking the ice, I think it was also another avenue for people to see that Sophia is not still stuck in the Davido past. She has
yes,
moved on. Remember when she asked Sophia
100%,
about,
100%.
who are you dating? The same questions she asked
Yeah,
the other women. And Sophia was emphasizing on he's rich, very, very rich. I felt
yes,
like, people were dragging Sophia, like, oh, why was she being cocky and saying rich, rich, rich? I'm like, no, people don't understand. There's already a stigma about this woman, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
about her relationship with Davido. Davido is married now, probably happy with his wife,
yeah,
and she's out here to let people know that she has moved on. She is doing well for herself. She's opening the business. She's thriving. And she's dating somebody that, according to her, is rich, 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 rich. So
yeah,
I think Mariam deserves some accolades for being the icebreaker of the
yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah. I
Yes,
think
the big
found her
icebreaker.
voice because remember, you had Yabo, you had Choma, you had Tiana, you had big personalities in the first two
Mm.
seasons, and
Yes.
Mariam couldn't get her foot on the ground. She just couldn't, you know. And so this time she could come with that boss energy. Again, like I
Yes.
said, she was living in America. So she was
Mm.
refreshed every time she came. She was trying to catch up on what was happening, of which I think via Diadem. Diadem, what is happening out here in these Real Housewives streets? Before I meet all of you all tomorrow, what
Yeah.
happened? Let me know. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Because Maria would have to have had an ally who would have kept her abreast and what
Yeah.
bullets dodge or whatever, hence Diadem. And so, Mariam was very, blase, blase, didn't really care. She would say, it doesn't matter, I'm out here in 2 days, because she was coming to Nigeria solely for the show.
Mm.
She was based in the
Yeah.
state,
Yeah.
So she was like, it really doesn't matter. And I think that's another reason why Diadem wanted to get up, because who's to say that after the reunion that Mariam was flying back to the States?
True. True.
It's,
Okay. Auntie, for me, I think we've pretty much covered this first part of the reunion. I am
yes,
so glad
it was so
we've had this
juicy.
conversation. Very juicy. And honestly, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the time, for the wisdom. You just kept on spilling and pouring, and it's just been refreshing.
I
Thank
love
you
it. I
so
love it
much.
with you. I love it
Yeah.
with you. I want us to continue to do more
Yeah.
and more and more. I just love your energy. You are so in depth. You are so charismatic, as well
Thank
as
you.
beautiful in and out. Thank you for having me here. It's difficult out here in social media to find that sis that you can really, banter with. This is
Yeah.
something where I would have said, Glory, let us be watching, give me the popcorn snacks. We will not say one word until after. We're supposed to be at work tomorrow, 6, but we're there talking, laughing. Yes. Hey, how did you see that matter now? How did you see this? I love it. I love it. So I am
Yeah.
so honored. I'm so honored.
Thank
Thank you, my
you.
love. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you. Thank you so much. Auntie, for me, please, as I already asked you, the part two of the reunion, we are definitely doing it on your
Oh,
channel.
big time.
All right.
Oh, big
Yes.
time. Big time and huge. Big time. I'm here. Anytime, any day. I'm ready.
Yes. Guys,
Yes.
please, I hope you can hear this. The part two of the reunion, I think it's coming out this Sunday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, just like now, Auntie Fumi
Yes.
is going to definitely set up on a channel. She's going to be
100%.
hosting us this time around. Let's keep on visiting
100%.
our big auntie's house.
Yes, 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 and indeed, I lived for it. No, it was fabulous. It was fabulous. Thank you to my glory queens.
Thank
You guys are so
you.
fabulous. Fumi Nation, please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Glory is the it. When I tell you, I live for it. I live for it. You should have a show in Nigeria. You really should. You're wonderful, because they should have the after party. This kind of, snackle, because Real Housewives of Lagos have fans all over the world. I would love
Yes.
for them to really get their fans out there and be able to show on an international platform. That was what
Mm.
drove, the first and second season. And I don't know what happened to
Yes.
the third. The girls deserve all of the acknowledgement, all of their businesses. They're so put together. They are so beautiful. And I lived for it. I absolutely for it. Gloria, thank you, Mama.
Yeah.
And I'll see you
Thank
next
you
week.
so much. Thank you so much, Auntie Fumi. Have a fantastic evening. Bye.
Bye bye, my love. Bye bye.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh my God, guys. That was such ah, a refreshing moment. I just felt like I just received, a dose of showers of blessings. I'm super pumped. Guys, this is it. This is it. But if there's anybody that really wants to, say anything, you can just go ahead and click the link in the comment section as we do it on here. My apologies that we did not have this live on Saturday as we normally do, guys. But I wanted us to get this first part of the reunion out of the way so that we will have more time to discuss the part two. So if you would want to come on here to, share your opinion, You are welcome. Beloved Bella. Bella,
Girl, 1 minute. You've got me on camera. I don't even know what to do.
Bella, show yourself, show your face.
God forbid boxing. Girl, I have no wig on. I have my natural hair on, girl. Have
Bella,
you
you know that
even
means I can take off my wig for you.
you look different. Don't even try such nonsense. I start chatting, giving me story to the gods. Congratulations, you did really well. I watched it. I was
Thank you.
actually watching it when I saw you invited us on. When Auntie was here, why didn't you invite us on so we could talk to both of you at the same time? You are cheating us out of our gist with both of you. Don't worry, it's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Be acting posh and spelt now that we've hyped you. Don't worry, it is good.
I
How are
did
you?
not inform her ahead of time. I did not inform her ahead of time that I'm gonna bring everybody else to talk, because I noticed that on her own channel, she has her own way of doing her live conversations. So the next one we have, I'll definitely ask her.
No worries. Do you know what? I was just, how I come in just to say hi, hype you up. How are you, my dear? Well done. I'm listening to the gist. I haven't even finished listening to your gist because I didn't catch the live
Oh,
start. So I'm halfway through, but I did hear the transfer of aggression thing. So I was very proud of you because that's exactly how I felt about it as well. I was like,
um,
definitely a transfer of aggression. And Auntie was right. Auntie Fumi was right. She said there was a hierarchy thing. The whole Nigeria thing when that girl went to Lagos and she was talking about how Lagos girls are. They are like that to themselves as well. So nobody should be surprised. And I'm not even surprised it's coming out on the show itself because that's how they always like try to find who is like the one,
mm,
that you can't mess with and everybody like the it girl
mm,
or something. You know what I mean? So it's quite fascinating to see that
true.
our little African quirks are playing out in reality and in real
Yeah.
life. So it's really interesting to see all that come out. But for me, this season, I'm still saying I don't understand. Like I felt like they didn't like I don't feel it gave the usual housewives vibe. Yes, you're right about the fashion. You're right about like how it's like cleaned up better. It's not like,
Yeah.
it's now gone to like, a very static clean, a very like clean minimalist look, and it's beautiful.
Mm,
But I just think it's the season, the timing of it as well, because like, the first seasons were quite like lavish, very Nigerian, over decorated. When you go to like some houses, you just be like, there is no space for the decoration. Just calm down and take it off the wall. Move this furniture so that we don't hit our leg every time. You're going to the toilet and you have to be doing obstacle course, because the house is so full of stuff, because they need you to know they have money.
oh my
That's
God.
so like they've stripped it back, which is really nice aesthetically,
Yes.
but like I feel like it's also lost its oomph because the people that, for me, Dabota and the what's her name? Diadem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've only seen them on social media, but I feel really bad saying this. I feel like they don't give this is why they say don't see, like, don't watch social media, because they really don't give what they give on social media. I don't know, aesthetically they're very pleasing to the eye, but like intellectually and emotionally, for some reason I feel really disappointed. Like it's a full
Why?
letdown for me. I feel like
Why?
I don't know. I felt like they don't have, what's that lady, the really slim, lovely lady? She was very slim. She didn't say much. The hot chick from last
Is
season,
it
the new girl.
okay?
What's her
Faith
name?
Murray. Faith.
Faith.
Yeah.
Faith, yeah. Faith, I think I saw her just when she was coming in into the season, and I went to go and look at her pictures, and she was all that and a bag of chips. And that aesthetic, she gave the aesthetic, she lived the aesthetic, she was breathing that aesthetic.
Yes.
But in this
Yes.
case, it was sort of like a letdown for me. I didn't feel like the aesthetic that they portray on social media is the same thing,
Hmm.
like the same energy they gave. There was like a lack of confidence in some people, or they needed like a
Hmm.
lot of like, they needed the two of them to kind of feed off each other in order to give some kind of energy. I don't know, that was my personal opinion, and nobody
Hmm.
has to agree with me. It's just like if you were in a standard place and they weren't on the show, I don't feel like the energy they gave would be, it's
Oh,
not
I see what you
natural. It
mean.
wasn't a natural thing. It was a, you know, when people come on TV and they're like hyper active, or some people are like they're less than who they are, you know, one of those things. I just feel like it wasn't genuine. It wasn't the genuine version of them to a certain extent. You know, some people were either like, for
Mhm.
me, Tiana was like, she was bigger than her normal, you know, her normal personality. Whereas these guys seemed, like I couldn't tell what their real personality is. Do you know what I mean? Like you should be
Mm.
able to tell, like even if they're being like unauthentic, not unauthentic, but like, or inauthentic, should I say? They should, you should be able to sort of like grasp like there's a baseline for their personality. You understand?
I see what you mean.
I
I see
can't
what you mean.
tell that.
I could, Bella, I could agree with you on the confidence part, exuding confidence part with Diadem. It felt like she was not relaxed. I felt like what's her name, Dabota being a newcomer, she had that thing. Sophia being a newcomer had that thing. But with Diadem, it felt like it was not there, that confidence part. But for the other things you mentioned, I don't know.
No, do you know what? To be fair, I wasn't as invested, so I might have been distracted. But just from like a brief, because you should be able to get like a measure of how the show is going and what is going on with the show from just watching snippets of it. And a lot of the time, nobody has, like, I watch things on forward even on YouTube, so. I'm sorry, I don't have the attention span for like a whole show. But I'm just saying from my personal observation, and I'm really, really
Mm.
sorry. If anybody's offended, please do not fight me. I don't have the energy, as you can hear me. And I'm in my nightgown after coming from work. So you can imagine how tired I am. The spirit of the Lord is just like, go to sleep, girl. But it's 7 o'clock, so I can't sleep. But yeah, all other things said, I'm the only way I catch up with this show is through you, because unfortunately, for some reason, we are not allowed to watch the show like here
Ah,
unless we pay for it. They are
that
very
part was
wicked.
painful.
Can you imagine? Serious. But anyway, it's really nice. Congratulations. And yes, she
Thank
was right. Did
you.
I tell you that you should host the show? Because you would ask the right questions. And Auntie said exactly the same thing. I was like, my girl knew me. You see, when I give you advice, I'm telling you, my consultancy fee. And if you and Atifumi are hanging out and I happen to be in Nigeria, you better invite me that day, Sha. That's all I'm saying. You
Yes.
understand? I've booked my time. Anybody else, they are behind me. I'm number one on that list. You understand? I've paid my entrance fee. You have looked at the application. I have entered. You understand? I've entered the interview and I've already passed. So don't bother
Thank
yourself. But
you.
anyway, let me let your
Yeah.
other guests talk. Congratulations again. I hope I
Thank
see more of this.
you.
And yeah, please do give me your opinion during the conversation, because I haven't finished watching what, as I said, I haven't finished
Okay.
watching it, but you agree at least some parts. So we
Yes.
agree to disagree. All right, see you later. Ciao,
Thank
Bello.
you so
Bye.
much, Bella. Thank you so much, Bella. Always a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much. All right, Ayomide, you're welcome. Before we speak with Ayomide, I'm seeing a very interesting comment here. Um, Lola said, "It's girls. Their events were cheap, diabolical and chubby cheeks. Sophia bought big bougie energy, but look at the nonsense you guys are talking about. Lola, this is so confusing. Why is it diabolical and chubby cheeks? Who has diabolical and chubby? Please, that's quite extreme. All right, let's cut these women some slacks. All right, at the end of the day, they went there to entertain us. All right, so please, let's be graceful with our words. I don't think it's right to refer to any of them as having diabolical or chubby cheeks. Nah, please cut that off, please. But if you would love to explain what you mean, could you please explain, or maybe click the link to join to speak? Because I don't understand. Okay, let's speak with Ayomide. Hi.
My queen,
Yeah.
my queen, queen of all queens. I can't
Ayomide,
imagine
you're
you
welcome.
hosting the show, being in the middle of six powerful women. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, can Glory undo these women?
Ayomi, they are not send anybody, Papa. Shebi after the show,
Are
I go
you
to my house.
sure?
No,
and I
Shebi,
and I
we
think
don't
and I
we
think
don't hang out
I
in
think
the
it's a
same
real
places.
housewife thing. The re- the reason why Latasha was able to hold it last year was because all of them were not going to show. And if you look at other franchises, you will see they are all mostly male host all the time. You see Andy Cohen, like they're mostly male hosts, and I feel like it's because they don't. They feel like I think it's because they feel like the six women all together will overshadow a female host. Don't you think so?
No, I don't think so. See, who is a host for such a show? It's
Mm-hmm.
to nitpick the events of the season,
Mm-hmm.
ask the right questions, right? Ask the right
Mm-hmm.
questions to draw reactions from the women. At the end of the day, none of the women is going to get up and go and beat the host. Why would they beat you up? That would be unprofessional and they
Definitely,
could remove you. It's to nitpick
definitely.
the event because see why people, and it's not just about here. People complain that, oh my God, what's the host doing? The host is letting this woman off the hook. The host is not asking the right questions.
Yeah.
And personally, number one, I don't even think it's even the host. I think it's probably production that sets up the questions. The host is
I
just
was
there to
about to
ask the
say so
question.
too. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not
Because
really about the
imagine
host.
when it was reading Caroline's some comments about Caroline. I'm like, that's not how it's done. Even in other
Hmm.
franchises, you read the good part and the bad part of whatever
Exactly.
situation it is, but he only read
Exactly.
the bad part of the comment. I'm like, no, you don't do that like that.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
Exactly. I mean, if I were the host, what's my own business? My own is to go there, execute the job. If they say ask these questions, then I will say, okay, oh, but I watched the show. This, and this also happened. Can we also ask these questions?
But sure you go
Which one will
feel
come and
sure
beat
you go
me?
feel all the self if they won't beat. Remember when what's the name? Tony was going for Choma. Sure you go feel all Tony.
Shebi there are bouncers. That's why they have bouncers. Then the bouncers will definitely step in and separate them. No, but one thing that is expected from a solid host of a show like this,
Mhm.
right? Which is why I really like Andy Cohen because of course I watch his their own reunions and some
Yeah,
of their seasons. One thing I like about him is he will play devil's advocate for this person, but he will also go
exactly.
deep into
Deep,
this other person's
exactly. Uti is not doing
situation.
that. Uti is
Yeah, it's
giving, I
not.
watched the show. He's giving, I have my personal opinions. And we can see right through
Yeah.
that bullshit. You don't come,
Yeah,
yeah, I also make sure like you don't come with your personal opinions at all. You come
you
and play
ask the
both
most
sides.
uncomfortable
Yeah,
questions. Ask very
yeah.
uncomfortable. I mean, any woman that is lying, okay, that is where production should play the clip because at least after the reunion, they edit it right and then they
Mm-hmm,
fix in the clips where they need to. So ask the
mm-hmm.
most uncomfortable questions because I think they need to acknowledge that each of these women, they have their fans and they have their haters. So they need to be able to balance the scale, right? You
Yeah,
cannot bring
exactly.
you cannot bring Twitter reactions that
Yeah,
favor only
just
one
one
woman.
person.
It
Exactly.
doesn't make sense,
It doesn't make
It doesn't
sense.
make
That
sense.
was wrong actually. That's not how it's done. I was going to say something. You see, Sophia is at that reunion. Sophia was really acting naive, like she doesn't watch other franchises.
It was
Dabota was eat. I'm telling you, Dabota was eating her up, and she's saying, "Don't go
yeah,
there. Don't go to what block say." I'm like, girl, you have to play dirty. If you don't play dirty, you're not going to get any screen time. Dabota was telling her that, oh, that's how last year you were claiming the house that's not your own. And the lady was like, don't go there. Don't go. I'm like, what are you talking about? You have to go dirty. You have to play dirty. Not be Laura, they talk, say that they pimp am. Caroline is very good at that nonsense. But what's her name? Sophia was acting all prim and proper. I'm like, girl, this is Real Housewives. This is real fucking housewives. You have to play dirty. If you read anything on the blog, you have to bring it in because they will bring out their
yeah.
own. And if you have nothing to say, she's gonna eat you up. And up till now, we still do not have one thread of evidence that the boat belongs to Sophie. We do not have
Mm-hmm.
one thread of evidence that the boat belongs to Sophie. And I was thinking, yeah, if you're saying that you left the jetty, your jetty was getting, it wasn't filled though. She didn't say it was getting fuel like fueled. She said it was getting filled up. So I'm guessing it was the PA, maybe makeup artist, air that was, so she said her boat was getting filled. So she had to, get another boat. Okay, but
FUELED or FILLED?
FILLED. So she said the
Okay.
boat was getting filled up, so they had to get an extra boat. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm
No,
like, okay, if your
no,
boat,
no, wait, hold on a second. What she explained was, I think we need to go and rewatch that
mm-hmm,
scene. She said, as they were approaching the jetty.
the
Her boat
jetty,
was getting, whether she said fueled up, but that was what she
or
explained. She said
filled up,
her, yeah, so when she said fueled up, she said their caretaker had to immediately go and get another boat. So
another
now,
boat,
that's why I asked you, is it filled up or fueled up? If she had said, oh, we got there and my staff had already entered there, it could have been, oh, it was already full of other
full.
people that
Mm-hmm.
were going to the island there. But she said fueled up,
But how
filled
long
up.
does it take to fill up a boat?
I don't know. I don't own a boat. I don't.
Because I
I
don't
don't
get to see him. Let me my problem with the reason why Sophie is getting dragged right, is because there's a track record. Not be today she they claim thing with no be her own. And that
track
track record is
record of
what
what?
of claiming things that is not her own. There's a track record. She has claimed the house that is not her own before. Now you not living in Lagos.
No. Ayomide, of course, we are in Lake, we're in Nigeria. We know
Mm-hmm.
about all of those stories on the blog, but also, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's not forget, I follow her on Snapchat before she even entered this
Mm-hmm.
whole, yeah. So there was a video that she did. I don't know if it was her boyfriend that bought
Mm.
a boat. Whether it was the boat that she said the boyfriend bought a boat and wrote her name
Her
on
name.
it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so she was, and it's a big boat. It's like a yacht. It's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So she entered and she was doing a video of it, like, oh my God, that
Mm-hmm.
this is why, she doesn't like showing things like this on social. So it was there. I think bloggers carried that video to Instagram. People, of course, the video's fans were dragging her that it is not her boat. So she's not going to come on Instagram and come and start explaining that, oh, it's my boyfriend that bought a boat and put my name. No. And then there was
Mm-hmm.
also the house situation. That
Situation.
one, I don't know who owns the house, but some people were
Mm-hmm.
saying that it could also be that her boyfriend bought the house and maybe as a surprise for her and maybe presented the documents to her as a gift. And then the real estate company that sold the property to her boyfriend came
Boyfriend.
and claimed that the property does not belong to her, it belongs to somebody else, their clients, blah, blah, blah. So the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, I cannot speak for that house situation because
Yes, we
I don't
can.
know. But for the boat situation, I saw
Mm-hmm.
it first on Snapchat where she posted it. As a matter of fact, she has stopped posting things like that. Now she has a private snap for only friends and family where she posts things
Network.
like that. Yeah. Because of the way bloggers would just go and copy or download those clips and go. So I don't know, about the house situation. I don't know. Ayomide, are you there? Oh my God. Ayomide?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. Please carry on. I can hear you, Ayomide. Carry on, please. Hello? Ayomide, are you there? Oh my God. What's happening? Okay. I think I'm just going to go ahead and speak with Z. And then when Ayomide returns, we will continue with him. Hello, Z. You're welcome.
Hi, Glory. How are you?
Good. You're welcome.
I'm so sorry. I'm so tired, so I'm not going to be my usual energetic self today. I've got a
No
migraine
problem.
from hell. Like, let me jump in because the word on your chat today is diabolical. So
Yeah.
apparently, everything is diabolical. So let's talk about this diabolical reunion part one. It's so
Yeah.
sad. I think this girl is calling Dabota diabolical. It's so mean. I don't know what's going on with your chats today. But anyway, um, I really think this reunion was just it was lame. It was just so boring. There was nothing to talk about. I can't believe they spent so much time talking about this boat situation once again.
Yeah.
It was so boring. And okay, let's stop. Wait about the reunion. Can we talk about Laura needs to leave now? What was Laura doing this season? I feel like she was just like just there. She was just there. Like there's no moment that I have for her that I can say, oh yeah, she gave me goosebumps, or I was like, you go, girl, slay. She didn't give me much fashions this year. She didn't give me much opinions. She didn't give me much shade. What was she doing? Like, I understand she probably doesn't want to share about her family much because she just had a baby, but we didn't even see her house this season. Like, what was going on? Like, we didn't see nothing from Laura this season, so she must exit now. Exit left. It's fine. Like, bow down gracefully, because at this point, she's just wasting our time and blame.
I think
But
she's being careful. I think she's threading carefully. Remember,
hmm,
season one, Laura was the
she
topic.
messed up season one. She was messed up on season one. She was messy. She was
Yeah,
messy.
she was really,
She
really
was
messy.
messy.
Yeah,
She
so I
was
think
messy.
she has
Season
created this new
two,
image for herself, and she's trying to stick
mm,
to that new image. Also, because now remember she has a business, right?
this
And
big,
this is
successful
business.
business. Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, so I think she's more of promoting her business now instead of trying to maybe be the
Then leave
villain
the
or be the
show.
one that ruffles
Then
people's
leave the
feathers.
show. Then leave the show. Last season she wasn't the villain, but she was my it girl. When she was like with Faith Mori, like she gave me moments. She was my actual favorite last season. Her, Faith, and Toyin, I think they were my favorite girls. Yes, their friendship was cute. She fell flat for me this season. I'm sorry, and I know she can give it. She doesn't have to be messy like season one, but can you just speak up? Like in situations, can you speak up and have an opinion? You can't just I don't like that. I don't like people that would have an opinion. They grate on my nerves. Like, what's your point? Like, have something to talk about, dude. Like, give us your opinion about something. Because Karen will bring her gist, and all she would say is like, instead of saying, no, Karen, this is not how it happened. You like, and on her confessionals, she would say it. I'm like, why didn't you say it there? Why didn't you say it on the table? Why were you quiet?
Zing,
Why were you eating all the steak? Why were you eating and drinking instead of speaking? I'm sorry, I can't stand that. That grates on
Zing,
my
let me tell
nerves.
you something. Let me tell you
Mm,
something, yeah. So
mm.
Laura has her makeup store where
Yeah,
I think she partners with different major brands to bring in their
yes.
products. And then she also
And
has her
she's
own
doing a
personal
Sephora.
She also has her
Mm,
own
mm,
personal makeup line. And then
mm.
during the shooting of this season, she launched
Yeah.
her hair brand, hair
Yes.
product,
The expensive
the
hair. The
curling,
expensive hair.
yeah.
Yes.
So she
Yes.
launched that one. So remember
Oh,
when she launched, right, and she invited the
yeah.
ladies, Dabota was shocked at the prices of the hair.
Yes, I
Laura was
remember.
selling
Yes.
one bundle for about, I think, $420, which if you convert to Naira, Nigerian Naira, it's over 400,000. And to be very honest, that is a ridiculous price for
Oh my
just that
God.
bundle. It's ridiculous. So
Oh
the way I
my God.
looked at Laura this season is okay, she's a proper businesswoman. These ladies in
Yeah.
this circle, they are big in their social circles and they have rich
Mm,
friends. So if I don't
yes.
make enemies this season, let's say if Mariam alone is able to bring 10 customers from a social circle, I'm
Yeah.
good. If Dabota
Oh, okay.
brings 5 women,
Okay.
I'm good.
I hear you.
So I think
I hear
Laura
you.
was in
I
business mode
hear
this
you.
season,
I hear you.
over
She was
calculating.
acting in a place. Okay, I get what you're saying. Oh my God, that's so sad. That's so sad. That is so sad. I love her work ethic, and she's gonna do like this. I see her vision, and it's she's gonna do it. I believe in her, and I believe in this makeup store that she's gonna build, this makeup empire that she's gonna build. But she must just
Yeah.
leave now and go build that and be the yummy yummy, because she can do better without the show. I'm sorry, like, go out there. She used to, isn't she like a big influencer in Nigeria? Isn't she like a big deal in Nigeria influencing before this show? So no man,
So
I'm
she
sorry.
actually is, yeah, she actually is. But
Mm,
one thing you need to understand about the Nigerian um, environment, especially the entertainment environment, is
mm,
somehow people, public figures, somehow, especially the ones that thrive in the entertainment industry, you
Mm,
cannot have a lot of enemies. You cannot, because this thing
mm,
about social circle, once you
mm,
are cancelled in a particular social circle, and this is for those people that belong to these social circles, once you are
mm,
cancelled in a particular social circle, the kind of
mm,
business you are doing that is for that class of people, it can
mm,
it can drain. Like it can go down the drain, because
mm.
first of all, you start up a business and your price point is targeted at this particular class of people.
Yeah,
So when you go around making enemies, word would quickly spread out, and
yeah.
people will, they will blacklist your business. So who are you
Oh
selling
no.
to? Someone like me now, I cannot say I will spend that amount for that kind of hair extension. For me,
Mm,
it's overly
mm,
pricey. I am not her target market. So she has a target market. So you cannot just start a
mm,
fresh business and then you come onto a show like this, you're making enemies with people like that. So it's very dicey, and that's why I could not really,
yeah.
judge her this season. I think it's left to production to think about it, that if our ratings are low this season, what are they going to do? Are
Yeah,
they going to want to bring her back? Or maybe they want to bring somebody else that is more
yeah,
controversial than her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, because I've been listening to you, Bella, and Auntie Fumi talking about this hierarchy, this Lagos thing. Like you explained it very well, because I'm like, we don't. Okay, South Africa, it is like there is it girls, but like majority rules here. We really don't care. Instagram is your world. Like us taxpayers and real people, we are your market. Okay, so you can sell your banners, but we are gonna buy them. Okay, so
Yeah.
at this point, now you're breaking it down to me, because I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what hierarchy all the time? And now it makes sense why all the girls always kiss us to the most famous girl. Like, who's
Ah,
the actress lady from last year? What's the name, lady?
Iyabo.
Yeah, Iyabo, like the likes of Iyabo or Chioma, because doesn't Chioma come from like a wildlife family? Like now it makes sense, because I was like, why is everybody buying down to these girls when the cool girls are like the Faith and your Toyin, because those and Miriam, but focuses on these girls and they're boring. So it makes sense now, because even the Dr. Ramel all of a sudden switched sides, because he saw that okay, I can get more favors by going to Iyabo's side and Chioma then. You know what?
See, you. Let me before
Mm,
you drop it, see, let me tell you this, yeah.
mm,
This thing I'm
mm,
explaining about the social circles and status and class,
mm,
it doesn't only exist amongst the women, it cuts across both genders. There's a story of this guy, they call him a young billionaire, right? Very wealthy
yeah.
person. All the gist, you hear them on Snapchat, you hear them on Instagram. So this guy
Mm,
has
mm,
money, like bastard money, but it's money
mm,
that he just started making, right? And especially for people
yeah.
that start up businesses that are into beauty, lifestyle, entertainment, right?
Mm,
You need people that are already there to bring
yeah.
you in. You by yourself, even though you are very wealthy, you cannot just happen into that kind of space, right? So
Mm,
as at that time, yeah, there's this group of guys that is their work. You are rich,
mm,
you have money, but you don't have the circle to brag and to flaunt your
mm,
wealth. So what
mm,
happens is they have the ministry, to
mm,
help you, what they call, like, help you, initiate you into that cycle, like more like introduce you to that lifestyle. They are the ones that will announce your presence. They are the ones that will announce how big and wealthy you are. They will loud it, yeah. So it also happens amongst the men too. They when they want to hang out with you, they'll bring ladies that will spread the word
mm,
that this person has money. Oh. And that was why when someone like Dr. Romeo came into the franchise, remember, he was
mm.
coming up to set up his business in Nigeria by
Botox
himself.
business.
Yeah, by
Mm,
himself, it would have taken him a while, or maybe been sort of difficult for him to just start up the business like that. You need to have people that will patronize you, people that would recommend you to their friends, especially because he's also in the beauty industry. So it's a big thing here, this whole social thing. And I'm not talking about everybody. Those people that are into it, they know, So it's a big
Mm,
thing here. You don't want to make enemies. You want to be on good terms with
that,
everybody, even though you don't like them. You just want to be cool with everybody.
that is insane. But thank you guys. I love learning about your country. I love Nigeria. Like I don't know how deep you know that I love your country. I want to visit. Like I
Oh,
love everything about Nigeria. I don't know. I listen to your music. I eat Nigerian food. I will drive. In Cape Town, people in Cape Town they know where to find Nigeria. I will drive there and go buy because I
uh-huh.
can't cook it, so I will buy it. I love everything about Nigeria. So now you gave me all the gist, and I love the gist. I love learning new things. Like I didn't know this. I did not know this.
Okay.
Now when I watched like the Nigerian shows, like Your Big Brother, everything was gonna make sense to me now. Because every time I'm like, why is everybody following this guy? Why?
Oh,
Why? Why
oh,
is everybody following this guy when this is the cool guy? So it makes sense now.
oh,
Thank you, Glory. I don't even have anything else to say. I
thank
don't care
you.
what about all the other things that I was gonna say. You educated me now. Now I know how I will never succeed in Nigeria if I will start a business, clearly. Because I don't have time for that.
You could
I
know.
do not have that. You have a
Thank
beautiful
you so
evening.
much, Z.
So
Thank you
much.
so
Bye,
much.
Carolyn.
All right,
Bye.
bye. Okay, Ayomide is back. Ayomide, we lost you, but I'm glad you're here now. Welcome back. Ah, Ayomide, what's happening? Ayomide, are you there? Oh my God, what's happening? Okay, we're just going to continue and speak with Tolu. When Ayomide returns, we'll go back to him. Tolu, hi. You are welcome, my queen.
Hi, Glory. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, my queen, a royal majesty.
If I didn't get anything from season three, at least we can be grateful, my queen. We got my queen. Because what were those women doing? Let's just be honest. What were they doing? They brought the whole, like, okay, yeah, their dresses, their makeup, but they were too safe. They were playing it too safe. Like it was too bad for me that I felt that I think it felt as if even Dabota didn't want to bring up the issue with Caroline. So regardless of how that matter had played, she preferred for them not to even bring it up. Like, okay, don't talk to me, you don't like me, you don't like me because of this matter. Can we just not bring it up? I don't want to be the or or should I say it's the back blow from the Iyabo thing from season 2 and Tony and how dirty or messy it got, and they want to present themselves in that light. So they were just for me, they were playing it too safe, right? And I'm tired, though, Miss Glory. I'm so tired. I watch Durban now. I watch Dubai. I watch this other franchise in Africa, and I'm expecting the Nigerians, even normal when we're arguing about football and all this stuff, everywhere is already hot. People are losing their like, and it's still pure banter. And we're having oats that cannot give us. Please, maybe they should just go and bring somebody else because I think we're yet to find. There is this host in Africa, I've forgotten his name, that still did the one for. They've been taken into different franchise, right? But right now I cannot remember his name off my head. But I think Uti is not cutting it. Let's just be honest. For whatever reason they are playing it safe, or they are even playing it too safe for production because of what fun is it? Other franchise would have like aftermath of reunion, like what happens when you come back home and then everybody's posting the receipts, like all these things that Dabota is saying now about the boats and everything. Thank God that production has even evolved. When people mention receipts and mention boats and mention they are showing us the backlog of what it looks like, they're giving us bureaus, but it's not enough when our host is playing it safe. So let's just title this season playing it safe. And oh, I felt like Miriam had been waiting, right? She intentionally did not have that fight with Diadem, right? But at that point, she's like, guys, I'm not going to allow anybody rubbish me, and I'm not going to play it safe any longer. We're going to, if you want to drag me, I will drag you by your wig. And she went all in. But the remaining ladies, I don't know. It's too dry. Nobody's bringing anything. And I thought, okay, since it's dry now, reunion, we'll see the fire. But
Mm.
let's hope. But as I saw Laura's voice, as I saw Laura standing and doing all of that, I can't wait for part two. I really cannot wait for part two. And when it comes to Sophia and Dabota, I think Sophia is trying to prove a point because the only thing that we really know about her, besides that she's somebody's baby's mama and all of that, she's just trying to prove that, okay, now I'm in a bigger space. And then Dabota got the hit of it. But I won't blame Dabota for changing the rooms, so let's not lie. It's two ways, right? It's context. If Dabota didn't change those rooms, she has known those other women before. They will start begin to play. Oh, I thought we were friends. It's easier for them to play that blame game on Dabota, right? Than when it's a new person. And there's also the context of you don't know this person, you don't just want to enter into the crossfires with them, right? But I did see from where Dabota was coming from initially. And then I think maybe Diadem has too much energy and time on her hands. That's why she's playing this, fighting battles that honestly all of the fights and everything and complaints that she made, but I'm happy that she found, excuses for it in the reunion because I thought she would come and use her full chest and fight for Dabuta at the reunion, but I think she's playing it safe again. So let's see how it goes, Sha. And for how
Yeah.
you're saying that glory should a lady will be caught in the fire. No, a lady will not be caught in the fire of other strong women. Best believe glory is a strong woman too. And other women, any host they will bring will be a strong
Na
woman now.
queen she be.
So, and the sweet part is that, like she said, she will go. It's not like she's begging them
Understand, like
for, for shine or for followers. So maybe maybe we should bring a female host. I think that's the major part, Sha. But maybe they should
yeah.
bring us Real Housewives of Abuja now. Maybe that one will even give us something.
Tolu, let me respond to two things that you mentioned. The host. As I said before, I don't think the host is the one that creates the questions. I think production probably has a way they want the show to be run. And I think there's somebody that comes up with the questions. But regardless, right? I watch the way Andy Cohen drills these housewives, either on the after the episode, after every
Yes,
episode, there's a
watch
show it does, and then there's the
what
reunion.
happens live.
Yeah, so I watch those things, and oh my God, the man jokes and laughs with these women, but the way he drills them, he has a very, very tactical way of doing it, and it makes them spill. He makes them talk. When he sees that okay, this woman is trying to play the victim, he will throw a question that will bring you out, or maybe play a clip that will expose whatever you're trying to hide, which makes it more fun and interesting. But with the Real Housewives franchise, it's not just about this season. I think Uti did the first season, the other lady did the second season, and now we have Uti again. I feel like when these women are saying things, and this is not just about Dabota now, no. When these women are saying things, and you as a host, obviously you must have watched the show back to back. You must watch the show, study it, and then you pick. Okay, this happened, that happened. When you're asking questions and they are responding, of course, they'll want to defend themselves. It is your job to drill them, fire back with questions, instead of just letting them get away, with things that they did on the show. It's not like you're trying to antagonize them, no, but you're trying to give clarity to the viewers because whilst everybody is watching the show, people have questions. People are attacking some of these women. So you ask these questions so that people gain clarity and pipe down low on the negativity and say, okay, this is the reason why this and that happened. So I think production together with the hosts, they need to do better. I know they've probably already filmed the part two and they've edited already, but for future sake, I mean, we've been saying this from season one anyway. So what's the point? Yeah, but they need to do better. Now, on to Dabota, you mentioned that you understand the context why Dabota changed Sophia's room. She has known these other women before Sophia. I totally understand you. And you are right in that sense. But let's not forget that the way you execute something, it also speaks a lot. If I look at you and tell you, oh my God, you're such a bitch, whilst we are gisting and laughing, you won't really pick offense. But if I use a very angry tone or maybe malicious tone and say, oh my God, you're such a bitch, you might be triggered because you'll be like, oh my God, where's that coming from? Right? Now, the way Dabota changed the room, that was, you could sense that it was very malicious. But if she had gotten to the resort and she's like, what do I do now? Oh my God, this is not nice. It's sad. Sophia will just have to manage this room. If she had done it in a way that is not malicious, I think people would have cut her some slack that, okay, she had a valid point. She has not met Sophia, she has met these other women, and so it won't be nice to give these other women this room that is not aesthetically pleasing. But the way she executed that thing, it was very malicious. It came with so much energy. Like, did you people fight before the show started? What's
Yes, like
going on?
they knew
I don't know
themselves.
if you saw that.
Yes, I agree with you, and I think that's what for someone like Dabota that presented herself like a very intellectual person, I was very disappointed that she was playing ignorant. She was playing Delulu, right? Every time Sophia said my room is bad, the reason why she even hammered on how bad her room was because Dabota was acting like she got the same thing every other person got except the view. No, that room was bad. From every description of the word, it was bad. It was terrible, right? So there was no need to play the ignorance game, right? You could just apologize and say, I'm so sorry. That was all I could give you, right? But she was not going beyond that part. She wanted to play dirty. And I'm so happy it was Sophia, right? Because Sophia was just coming in. She was not like the other ladies that had been there before and were trying to play it safe, right? So she was ready to like, no, you don't disrespect me and get away with it. You're going to pay for that. And I'm happy she didn't give her that gown because, like you still pointed out, that Bota never really gave a genuine apology. And for someone that claims to be very intellectual, very business savvy, and all of that, I feel like even in the corporate and casual world, this is a franchise, this is a job. That's just the truth. Giving your lives out to other people to be able to watch, learn, get entertained, it's a job. From the other franchises I watch, Africa and outside Africa, right? It's a job. So if you take it as serious as that, just apologize. And as ladies, we understand how being a bad room can just get you very icked up. The toilet, the this, the that. You're having to even beg people to come and adjust things. When you already know you give her a bad room, you could have just still called the hotel or staff to just come and check out that room, right? So I feel like that Bota in herself, she's one to watch out for. And she has a way of playing it cool after she has done the right. And then half of what she's doing is that then that comes back to fight over it and all of that. So besides that, yeah, I do get where you're coming from anyways.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Tolu. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. Before we speak with Ayomi Day, I want to read this very interesting comment from AB. AB says, Dabota was petty in putting Sophia in that room, and she actually made statement in regard to that. Sophia too triggered Dabota by coming to Dabota's event with another boat. So I think we need to establish something about that whole situation, right? I'm not going to say I know because I wasn't there, so I don't know. But from what was explained, Sophia did not know. Like she said, there was no communication about the arrangements that Dabota had made. I don't know. The only person that can state categorically that we told Sophia that Dabota has hired a boat, so you, alongside other women, go and ride in Dabota's boat is production. Because, of course, they know about all of these plans. Sometimes production makes these arrangements, and, you know, the ladies are just to show up and say, oh, I'm the one hosting, I'm the one hosting. And sometimes the ladies actually do host. So I don't know what the situation is, and I cannot speak for anybody. But I think we have to establish that from all the questions asked, from all the answers given, Sophia was not in communication with Dabota. She was invited by Caroline obviously a thing that was set up by production as an avenue for her to be introduced to the circle. So for her, she has a boat, she's going to go. Caroline said, okay, she told Caroline, oh, we can go in my boat. Caroline said, okay, cool. And Mariam said she would join. So if you put it this way, that Sophia triggered Dabota by coming to Dabota's event with her boat, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that. I think the person that actually triggered Dabota, as I and Fumi had actually discussed, was Mariam and Caroline, who did not, let me use the word, who did not go according to Dabota's plan and who did not give proper information to Sophia about the whole event. Hence the reason I said all what Dabota did to Sophia at that initial stage before they even met was a transfer of aggression, transfer of anger. Her anger, her annoyance at Caroline and Mariam, she transferred all of that to Sophia. And that was what Antifumi called the status thing, yeah, hierarchy in the group. So the question we should be asking is, why didn't Dabota transfer all of that aggression to the people that actually defaulted on her plan, Caroline and Mariam? Why did she have to use Sophia as the scapegoat? So I'm just reacting to AB's comments that Sophia triggered Dabota.
Sorry, can I say something before I leave? I know I'm taking out of your time, right? So for me, it was wrong of Dabota. One, two, Sophia was the easy target. If Sophia was not coming, best believe that Caroline and Miriam, I'm not saying they can't afford the boats, but the logistics behind it, they would have found a way to meet up with Dabota and Diadem. Right.
Mm.
So, but because Sophia gave that avenue that, okay, I have a boat or I'm going to get a boat, don't worry, there's a boat. So even if Caroline was going to get late, like 1 hour late, there is now a boat. So I can plan my time to that other boat. And honestly, what happened to Dabota, the way she reacted, we could say her reaction to a certain extent initially was justified because even the energy, how much energy can she and Diadem bring on that boat when she had envisioned more people on the boat, right? And then, is that energy from the boat that determines what they take to that vacation spot and whatnot. That's what happened in Sophia's time, right? The energy started from the party bus till they got to the jets. And even when people were having mixed, even when Dabota and a few people were having like some mixed feelings in between, if you see when Caroline and one other person, I can't remember who, were having mixed feelings, the energy in that jet was so bubbly that honestly, you would look like a fool if you begin to start drama or you start pouting and start expressing a negative emotion, right? So, but now that what she saw was, to me, is more or less like an attack, right? Oh, so there's this person. There's a possibility that this person, if I want to check every part of what's changed this, is tied to Sophia. Because initially Caroline had said would just say, oh, I'm running late. Fine, no problem, we're waiting. Oh, Caroline, you guys are running too late. Oh, I'm with my Miriam was telling us she's with her hobby. So I'm like, if Sophia was not there, Miriam would have actually arrived the next day or much later, or they won't have had to wait for the women at all, right? So,
Mm.
and probably Dabota also saw, what's her name now, Sophia, as an easy target, and they just went for her. And then you don't know that she's somebody that has come back, mad comeback, because for some reason Dabota didn't have enough time to send a measurement like the other ladies in time, according to what we heard during the reunion. And Dabota didn't refuse; she didn't deny that. So definitely, at that point, she was not yet seeing Sophia like who she is, because she has not met her yet. And then the moment you
Mm.
are meeting her, you already seen her as like not like a threat, but like the reason why the energy and all of that to your event didn't come the way you had planned it, right? So you would come for her, and the other women were playing, we sent you messages. So the next person to come from was the person that you didn't hear from at all, and the person that brought the other boat. But I think it was
Mm.
unnecessary to start saying who owns the boat and who didn't hold the boat. Did Sophia come with another boat? Yes. Was there bubbly energy on Sophia's boat? Yes. Did the party happen on Sophia's boat? Yes. So Dabota was just it's more or less like we are friends, we're going out, we're going somewhere, and then somebody says, oh, we're going from mainland to island. I have an SUV that can pick the people that will be late. So some people will be late because there's already room for it. But anyways, I think
All
it's
right.
all
Thank
very
you.
chatty stuff.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tolu. Really appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much. We're going to speak to Ayomide now, but let me quickly read this comment. This is from Adachuku saying, you people can say whatever you like. One thing I know is that thief Sophia always goes around claiming what is not hers. I think this comment is very uninformed, to be very honest. Except you are inside Sophia's body or you are inside her head and you follow her everywhere she goes and you are inside her bank account and you live with her under the same roof. In fact, you breathe the same air that she breathes and you know everything about her life, hook, line, and sinker. I think even if you are a twin sister or her soulmate and you claim you know everything about her life, I still think this comment is very uninformed. You cannot come out as a stranger that you are to these women and claim such a comment over their lives. It does not make sense. You cannot say, one thing I know is that Steve Sophia always goes around claiming what is not hers. Has she claimed anything that you own before? It doesn't really make sense. As I said before, please, let's be gracious to these women. They are humans too. You cannot use a language like that, calling her a thief. What has she ever stolen from you? Doesn't really make sense. Always going around claiming what is not hers. What do you have that she has ever gone around to claim from you? It doesn't make sense. It's not fair. You don't know these women to home. So do not leverage on the fact that you watch them on TV to come out here in a public space to say very uncouth things like this about them. Don't do that. It's very wrong and it doesn't make you look good. Okay? Okay, let's repeat Ayomide. Ayomide, you're welcome.
Hi, please tell me you can hear me.
I can hear you perfectly. I don't know
The
what's been
devil is a
happening.
liar. The devil is a liar. I'm going to speak my mind here today.
Go ahead, go
See,
ahead.
Glory, I feel like even if all the women had gone to the beach together, the boat would have still changed that room. Because let's be honest, I don't know you. I've never met you. We've never spoken. Why would I give you one of the best rooms that's facing the sea? So I hear you when you say that the way she did it in a petty way. And that came out of the fact that they had waited for this woman for over 3 hours and that they still did not come in a boat even after waiting. And then they had to make only her and Diadem come alone when she wanted a togetherness, which she said at the reunion that it wasn't about the boat, it was the togetherness. So and I saw your review where you were saying that it was about the boat. I agree with that, but it wasn't about the boat actually. It was the fact that we waited for you guys. You still didn't come with my boat. And immediately you came, the first thing Sophie said was, I ate my room. Come on now, that's not nice. Immediately, Dabota showed her room. That was the first thing she said. I ate my room. It has no view. That was what upset Dabota. That was what it was about, not the boat. And that was what she was trying to even address at the pit when she said that I ate that and I didn't like the late coming, and also someone had to rent a boat. It was okay for her to assume that she rented a boat. Why? Because the boat herself rented a boat. If I rented a boat, it's okay for me to assume that Glory also rented a boat. So I think that's just normal. Why would I assume that you own it? Because boat is not cheap. So why would, it's just like me saying, assuming that you own a private jet. What do you do that you used to own a private jet? It's not cheap. So Dabota rented a boat. She had every right to assume that the other ladies rented a boat. She didn't know that Sophie owned a boat. So when you were telling Auntie, what's her name, please?
Auntie
Auntie
Fumi.
Fumi, when you're telling her that why would she assume? I'm like, if I rented a boat, I'm only gonna assume that you guys also rented a boat. Let's be honest. And also, that Sophie saying that, oh, I own the boat, I don't have to do commercial. That's BS. Because if it is not in your name, your father's boat is not your fucking boat. I'm sorry. That's entitled.
Okay,
My mother's
Ayomide,
boat.
hold
No,
on.
don't interrupt. Let me finish. So, my mother's
No,
boat is
because
not
you're
my
saying a lot
boat.
of things, and I don't want to
Hold
forget
on.
how to respond to
Hold
you.
on, Glory. My sister's boat is not my boat. That's entitled. If she had said that, oh, my family has a boat. I didn't rent a boat. My family has a boat. That's understandable. But you want to shade somebody with something that is not even in your name. That's BS, and that's why Dabota had to do the research, and that's why Dabota had to go the extra mile. Because if you're going to spite me and say that, oh, I'm on the boat, I have to do commercial. If you're going to say something like that to shade me, then I will do my research and prove that it is not your boat. And Dabota is proving it right now because there is no one single clip that showed them living in a boat. There's no one single clip. So if you're going to have the audacity to shade me about something that you don't even own, then have the decency to ensure that there are no complications around it. Have the decency to ensure that, oh, nobody will drag you, that, oh, it is not yours. Have the decency to ensure that, okay, oh, you bought it with your hard-earned money. It is not your family's own. But if it is not, if you didn't buy it in your name, don't come and say, oh, I own a boat, you have to do commercial. I don't. That's BS. Because at the end of the day, we don't have any shred of evidence to suggest that the boat is ours. Now you can
Okay.
interrupt me.
Yeah, I just feel like rubbing your head right now from all that fire you just brought out. Eh? Calm down, yeah, calm down. So I hear you, Ayomide. I hear you, and you see, no matter how long we talk about this situation, we will always have differing opinions.
Opinions,
Why?
definitely.
Yeah, because we are all different. We are different individuals, and people read situations differently, right? Personally, I work based on energy a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I'm an empath. When I walk into a room, if it's a good vibe, I soak into that good vibe. If the energy is not good, if the vibe is negative, I immediately remove myself. That's how I am. Some people, they are this I don't give a fuck type of person and they will vibe with it. Some of them will even use their own good energy self to probably infiltrate that negativity and have the time of their life. People are different, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. Dabota was upset, right? But I think we keep on jumping the scenes. We keep on jumping everything. And we keep on, it's like shifting different important pieces of the puzzle to try to make a whole puzzle. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
work that way. We need to look at this thing from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Episode one, episode two, we did not see Sophia, I guess. I think she came
She came
episode
in
three,
episode
right?
four. Episode 4.
Okay, even episode four, bless you. We didn't see Sophia. But
Mm-hmm.
at that time, Dabota had met with these other
Other
women
women.
from
Yes.
Mariam's event. Sophia was the
Yes.
last person to join the women. So
And when
I
Sophie
don't want
even
to
came
now.
to Caroline's event, Dabota was not there. Dabota had
Yeah.
traveled.
So, in other words, Dabota and Sophia did not meet until
Yes.
Sophia arrived at the beach house. So
Yeah.
now, let us look at this show as per what was edited for us to see on the show. Why? Because none of us was behind the scenes. We don't know what went on
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Caroline was the one communicating with Dabota. Oh, I'm running late, I'm coming. Mariam was the one communicating with Dabota. Oh, I'm running late, I'm coming. And then when she saw that probably she could not make it, she told Dabota, oh, yes, we are coming with Sophia's boat.
Both.
Mariam, too, we are coming with Sophia's boat. What is
Mm-hmm.
Sophia's business in all of that? Sophia had no idea of what is
Mm-hmm.
going on Dabota's end.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. I mean, if Caroline and Mariam had told Sophia all the arrangements, I'm sure they would have
Yeah.
seen at the reunion, but nobody
Yeah.
said anything. Now,
Anything.
look at it this way. Sophia does not even know what's going on Dabota's
Mm-hmm.
end. She does not know. And these
Mm-hmm.
women did not give her information. She had no idea. So her own was okay. Oh, Caroline said, I'm invited to the thing, right? Caroline is taking me there. Okay, Caroline, since we both live in Banana Island, like we're literally neighbors, let's go
Mm-hmm.
on my boat. I think later on, Mariam too. Mariam lives in Ikoyi. I think Parkview Estates, but it's around the same vicinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, oh, we are all neighbors. Let me come with you in your boat. And then they went there.
Mm-hmm.
Dabota, on her own end, she's upset that the ladies are late. They've been waiting for 3 hours. They are all, she's very upset, which is valid. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
canceling Dabota or
Mm-hmm.
Diadem's feelings. They have a right to be angry, right? So they go to the beach first. That's Dabota and Diadem. Dabota is
Mm-hmm.
already triggered. Like, who is Sophia that she says she has a boat? She wants to come with a boat. Okay,
Yes.
fine. Since she's
And she
coming with a
switched
boat,
the room.
since she said, yeah, since she owns a boat, let her come and rent the whole
The beach
resort
house.
and get
Yes,
a
that was
room for herself.
petty. I totally agree.
So wait, hold on, we're getting somewhere. That's why I want us
Mm-hmm.
to take from the beginning, right? So Dabota is upset with Sophia and goes ahead
To
to
switch
switch
the
off the
rooms.
rooms. Now, the way she changed the rooms, it was like a transfer of aggression, very malicious. Even Diadem was having so much
Yeah.
fun. They were even giving each other high five. Mean girl
Mm-hmm.
energy,
Yeah, it
very
was
mean girl
petty.
energy.
Yeah.
Now, Sophia arrives without even knowing what was going on. Oh,
Going
my
on.
queen. Oh, thank you for putting my picture on the billboard. That other two
Yes.
was pretending, pretentiously. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And then she waited for Sophia to go and check her room because she was expecting a reaction. Ayomide, you watched that episode and you saw
Yes.
that indeed that room was overlooking the trash. Come
Yes.
on. It
I
was not
agree.
pretty
But
looking. No,
someone would
wait
have
now,
still
wait, let
stayed
me
in that
finish. Wait,
room.
wait, wait. Wait, Ayomide, calm down, right? The
Mm-hmm.
room was not looking good. When I
Yes.
and Auntie spoke, I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that just like the Dubai trip in season one,
Mm-hmm.
when they had said, I think two women had stayed in one room. I think Choma and Iyabo, they had stayed in one room, which was better because the extra room was not something to write home about. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't comfortable. So it was
Mm-hmm.
even good that those two women had shared a room. So if Dabota had said, okay, oh, Caroline, you are the one bringing Sophia, both of you should share a room because you have a beautiful room with a view. I think that would have even been a welcome idea. So all these things I'm saying now is if
Mm-hmm.
you look at this season from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
Sophia and Dabota have never engaged with each other on the show. They've
So yeah.
never interacted. So
Mm-hmm.
you now saying that Sophia did this, did this, did that to Dabota, I think it's not fair because all this while Sophia was in the dark what
Mm.
was happening between Dabota and these other women. Hence the reason I'm saying that if there was anybody that Dabota should have been angry at, transfer aggression, blah, 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 it is Caroline and Mariam. But then again, don't forget that Caroline and Mariam, they had been communicating with Dabota and they had been able to pacify her. So now, even though they had been communicating, apologizing, trying to pacify her, the fact still remains that Dabota was still angry. She needed to expend that negative emotion she had been feeling the whole day. She needed to vent. So the thing now is, why did she not vent it all out however way you want to? Why did you direct all of that venting to Sophia? By switching off her room, by waiting for her to react, and then when she said that she does not like her room, she hates her room, you now leveraged on that to call her uncouth, uncultured, you
Mm-hmm.
call her so many names. So that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
I
Now,
agree.
Glory,
See, I
so,
agree with
glory,
you to a large
glory,
extent.
glory. I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. Now I want you to play a scenario, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
say let's say a new housewife was introduced. Let's say Toke was introduced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just before Ghana trip. And then she got an invite. Oh, we're going to Ghana. I have a PJ ready. Girls, get ready. We'll go. We'll have fun. They say
Mm-hmm.
yes. And the next thing, Caroline and Diadem are telling them, "Oh, are you at the airport? Just go. We're going to come with Toke's boat, with Toke's PJ." How
Mm-hmm.
would have Sophia felt in that moment?
Thank you.
Be honest.
so,
Thank you.
so
And
let
we,
me
I
answer you.
understand.
Let me answer you. Let me answer both of you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Sophia renting? Yeah. Sophia obviously,
she got a PJ, told the girls the
yes,
plan, and then she gets to the airport. They've boarded. They're waiting to take off. And then let's say Toke, she's never known Toke. Let's say they don't know
Mm-hmm.
each other outside their normal lives. And they say, oh, you know Toke, oh, you were not at that event. She was there, it was nice. So we're actually coming on her PJ. You can just go, we'll meet you up in Ghana.
yes.
How
Let
would
me
she
answer
have
you.
felt in the moment?
See,
Let me
before you
answer you.
answer, let me say
Let me
something.
answer you. Hold on,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
hold on. Let me answer you. All right, we're having a
Okay.
conversation.
Okay.
I mean, just as expected, Sophia will be just as mad as Dabota, and it is valid,
Yes.
which is what I've been
Mm-hmm.
saying. It is valid. Now, the rational and mature thing to do is not to be angry at Toke that brought her own private jets. The people you should be mad at are the people that left your jet with all the arrangements you have informed them about to go and join Toke's jet because Toke has nothing to do with your arrangement.
So
Toke
if I
is
was in her shoe, I would be angry with Toke. Do you know why? Because it is my event. Why do you want to upstage the host? That's the thing. It is my event, and every housewife has an event. They
So
organize, they
what
do
if
Mm-hmm.
the
Toke
transportation, they do
was not
everything.
aware? What if Toke was not aware
I
that
will.
Sophia had a private jet? That Sophia was the one conveying everybody. That's what we are talking about. That
Yeah.
Sophia said that she did not get any communication that there was
Patient.
such an arrangement. That's the point. Sophia did
Please
not
hold
get
that thought.
any
So
communication.
so what if she knew? So you want to tell me, so Caroline communicated, but she did never communicated with Sophie to say, but there's already an arrangement. Instead of taking your boat or paying for a boat, why don't we go? You could have gone either way. It could have gone
But,
either way.
but they
Let us
She
said
would
assume that
everything.
she didn't
But they
know.
said
From what
everything
we've
at the
seen, hold on,
reunion. They
Glory.
said
From what we see, from what we've watched and what we've seen on the reunion, let's be frank, Sophie didn't know. And
mm-hmm.
no one is even going to
simply she
fault her for
didn't
that.
know.
Sophie didn't know. But let me even make my point. Let me land my point. My point is
It's the
when
same way that
Dabota when
sorry.
Dabota was saying that, please hold on. When Dabota was saying
Mm,
that, it was never about the boat. Sophie made it about the boat, and I'll tell you where it all
exactly.
started. It was never
Exactly.
about the boat. See, she switched up. She switched the rooms out of pettiness. Everybody agreed. And if you remember her confessional, she said that even if Laura was coming, she would have switched. She would have still switched the room too. She said it. My whole point was that the entire madness, the back and forth, started from the moment
She
Sophie
was
said that
consistent.
I ate
Yes.
my room. The first thing the minute she showed, oh Sophie, this is your room. The first thing Sophie said was, I ate my room. It doesn't have a view. That was where everything started. Glory. Do you understand? That was where the fight started from.
Now,
And when they
Ayomide,
got to the pit, and she was addressing everybody, and she was like, I'm not happy about the late coming, and I'm not happy that
Mm-hmm.
some ladies had to go rent a room. And immediately Sophie said, oh, I didn't rent a boat, I own a boat. That
Yeah,
was
I
where
have a
everything
boat.
started. Glory,
Yes.
that was where the fight started. So it was never about the
Ayomide.
boat. Sophie made
Okay,
it
Ayomide.
about the boat, and that was
Okay,
why
Ayomide.
Dabota
Let
had to
me let
go
me
and do all
respond
her
to you.
research.
Let me respond to you. The
So
fact
Mm-hmm.
here is,
uh
yeah, if you say that the fight
Mm-hmm.
between Dabota and Sophia started when Sophia got to the beach and said, "I hate my room," then
Yeah.
I don't think you are
so
actually wait. I don't think you're actually accepting the actual facts, like the facts are the
Mm-hmm.
events of the show. I think you are actually nitpicking. Let's be very, very plain with this thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have established that Sophia was in the dark
mm-hmm.
about
Yes.
Dabota's arrangements. That's a
Yes.
fact, right? Now, the other thing was Dabota got triggered.
She
I
was
mean, you can go
petty.
and watch it again.
That's a fact
Dabota
too.
got triggered
She
the
was petty.
moment Caroline and Mariam informed her that they are coming with Sophia's boat. She got
Yes.
triggered. For her,
Yes.
I already spent is it 1.2 million to rent a boat, or is it 1.6? I
Yes.
already rented a boat. How
Mm-hmm.
dare she come in her own boat? She was already upset by that, to the point
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
that she had to go and do research about the said boat.
No,
Both.
that was not
That
why she
no,
did
hold on, please,
research.
hold on, please, hold on, please,
No.
hold on,
Mm-hmm.
please. She already got triggered, right?
Yes.
that, okay, her
Fact.
plans had been scattered. The
Fact.
question is, whose fault is it that Dabota's plans got scattered?
It wasn't
Wait,
Sophie's fault,
we
let's be
it's
honest. It
not
wasn't
Huh?
Sophie's
Sophia's
fault.
fault.
We
It was
agree.
not Sophia's
No,
fault. Let us be honest.
yes,
But I'm
but
saying that don't forget that immediately they got to the beach. That is Caroline, Sophie, and Miriam. And Dabota came down to greet them. The way they were appreciative, the way they were happy. Dabota said she was not angry. That the way they were appreciative. That her anger went from 100 to 10. I went back to watch it. I went back to watch that scene yesterday. After the reunion,
and the plus one
immediately they got
said,
to the beach. Immediately they
I
got
yeah,
am
to the
with
beach.
you.
Dabota
I
said
love it.
that,
Though. Let
oh,
me tell you this.
Dabota
Let
said,
me tell
oh,
you
her
this
mind
for
has
free.
gone down. Immediately, Sophie said that, oh, I ate my room. That was when Dabota said in her confessionals, oh, she's
Okay.
uncouth, she's this,
Okay.
she's uncultured. Immediately, Sophie made that statement, I ate my room, because I'm meeting you for the first time. I'm showing you your room, and the first thing you said, I ate my room. It doesn't have a
so
view. That was when Dabota got angry.
so
That's my
Okay.
Glory.
I
point.
am with you.
Let's say,
Let me
let
tell
me
you
Agree to
this.
ask
Let me
you.
disagree, or
tell you this.
glory.
Yeah.
Let
May
me
we
ask you,
agree to
Hold
Glory.
on, Sarah.
disagree.
Hold on, no, hold on, please. Hold on. We cannot all be talking at the same time now. Every day. Listen, yeah. Listen, yeah. See, that you need to, when you walk into a place, you need to read the room, right? There's a reason why there's that saying that exists, yeah. When Dabota was already upset, triggered, and all. And obviously, channeling that aggression towards Sophia, maliciously changing the rooms. And let me come and see what she will say. She has a boat, blah, 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 blah. She was
Yeah.
already angry. She was already targeting Sophia. For her, I want her to come and I want to see her reaction when she comes and sees the kind of room she gets. Now, I agree with you when you said, oh, she already met the other women, so there was no way she would have given them that bad room. I agree
Yeah.
with that. But that's why I said the malicious intent. Remember, there was an intention. The malicious intention there was, maybe she has a boat. Maybe she cancelled my plans. I want to come and see how she will come and enjoy a room with a view. That was the malicious intent,
And I
right?
agree with
So,
you.
wait now, hold on, please. That was the
Yeah.
malicious intent there. She knows that when Sophia comes, Sophia was going to complain about the room. She knows. And that was why she asked Sophia, oh, do you like your room? You know she will complain. So you're like,
She
oh, do you
set
like
a
your room?
trap for her for drama.
Exactly. That's
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying. So Ayomide, you saying that her issue with Sophia started because Sophia said, I hate my room. That's not true. Dabota knew what she was doing. And see, I think one thing a lot of people are missing about the show is the fact that Dabota is very calculative and manipulative. She does things, and then because she has this very calm demeanor and she smiles when she does things, she people look at her like, no, she didn't do anything because she always provides a very, interesting reason to cover up her acts. So her actions that were not hidden were the maliciousness with which she used to do what she did, changing the room. Then the malicious intention. She had an expectation. She wanted to trigger Sophia the way she got triggered by Sophia saying, by the other women saying they were coming in Sophia's boat. So we cannot overlook that part. For
And
her
there
to
was
ask Sophia, what do you think? Do you like your room? Why would you ask her that? Because you deliberately gave her the worst room. That's why I said, if Dabota had good intentions, if she
Yeah.
really wanted something like a valid reason to do whatever she did, that people were going to support her, you say, okay, well, Sophia, since Caroline brought you, you will share a room with Caroline. If Sophia got upset, she could have now used that bedroom as an example that, oh, would you have rather stayed in this bedroom that is looking out to the trash? Then a lot of viewers would have been on Dabota's side. But because of the way she executed that plan, it made her look like a mean girl. And we cannot overlook that part.
I agree with you, and I will say that of course sometimes your first impression of people is not actually the accurate thing, and sometimes you have a rough start with someone and then you'll be like, okay, it wasn't that bad. I don't think Dabuta and Sophia's issue would have been that deep if only Sophia too was intelligent enough to say, it be like, say, this girl set trap for me anyway, let me keep quiet. And then
She
when
wouldn't have known.
everything, when the tempers are calm. She's like, honestly, you know what? I don't really like my room, but I thought to respect you as a host, especially knowing that we came late and altered your plan. That would have just ended the fire. Now, talking about the boat, right? Don't forget that the only reason why Dabota came to the reunion to clear the air was because that boat was a housewife on its own this season. This season,
A very
that boat,
solid wife.
that boat was a housewife. And I will tell you why that triggered her. Not because hypothetically she thought Sophie had a boat, because they are Lagos girls, they know themselves. If you see who get boats for Lagos, you go know.
You go
You
no.
go know, no be lie, no be anything. If you see Lagos big girl we get boat, you go know. Lagos big girl we get Lambo, you go know. So Dabota was like, "Oh wait, you mean you own a jet, a boat? Okay, fine. That was at the bonfire. She let that slide. But when they went to Ghana and they were all like, "Oh, let's vibe, let's have fun. It's not every day that is bad energy." They picked on that and said, "She said they are typical Lagos big girls. They did not expect to see that kind of." Treatment, and they're the Lagos big girls that if you don't have a Rolex or Van Cleef, they
Yeah,
look
Sophie
down on you,
said
but
that.
now they respect me. That was what triggered them. When now you be the original Lagos girl, will I see you get
No, but
both?
I think you're mixing up
No, I'm just telling you. No, people keep
confessionals.
saying no, no, no. I'm not saying confessionals.
It
I'm
wasn't
saying that
confessional
the
glory.
the notion is why did she keep hammering? Because Sophia said she doesn't like women that look for loopholes to make other women feel bad. But the thing is, you accuse those girls of being Lagos girls.
Typical. She said
She
typical
said
Lagos
typical
girls.
Lagos girls. And you did not see how they just switched. They were happy. Oh, you wanted them to go to Ghana and still spoil the trip. That was the only trip that it was cordial. Everyone had fun. What was bad in it? They were tagged
But don't you,
Lagos
let me ask you
girls.
a question. Let me ask you a question. Don't you think
Mhm.
that Sophia's reaction in that episode, her whole confessional when they were going to Ghana, don't you think her reaction was actually valid?
No, it wasn't valid. It
Why
wasn't
wasn't it
valid.
valid?
Do you know why I think that it wasn't valid?
Why?
Because why? Why? Because it could be that that person decided to show you that they were a bigger person. You spoiled my event. I will come with to yours and participate and be happy. You should have even felt bad and said, I didn't expect this energy, but Omo, the energy was needed. There wasn't any bad time. The only person that gave her a hard time was even her own friend. So
Do
if
you know?
someone was mean to you the way Dabota was mean to her at the beach house, what do? You show that you're a bigger person. You
Do
show
you
that
know
you're a
why I
bigger
think?
person. And then it
Okay, hold
shows
on.
that you don't have any evil intent towards the person. And okay, next time I'll do better. Which is what they did. But instead they were called what? Fake Lagos girls. And at the end of the day,
Yes.
who is the fake Lagos girl?
Before you
Okay,
step in, let me
hold
say
on. Let
something.
me say this. Let me say this. Do you know why I think Sophia's reaction in her confessional was actually valid? As a matter of fact, even more gracious. Remember, at the beach resort, a lot happened. Talking about how Dabota switched the rooms, of course, valid. She and Diadem, they were upset. So initially there was a warm reception, but at the bonfire night, there was Diadem's cold reception. And then that whole thing graduated into when they had that meeting. I think it was at the lounge at the resort. And Dabota was having a go at Sophia, and Sophia was trying to defend herself, and Dabota was saying a lot of things. There was even something she said that you messed with the wrong one, da, 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 all
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
You will
she came
learn.
with a
You will
boat.
learn.
Oh, yeah, you will learn, that kind of thing. That sounded like
Yeah.
a threat of some sort. So, hold on, all of those things happened, right? And then it was Sophia's turn to host. There was a private jet thingy. Obviously, during review and during confessionals, whoever is behind the scene will ask you question. Okay, compared to how I'm assuming now this was a question, compared to how you were treated at the beach resort, what do you think about how these women, acted on the jet? Blah 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 blah. Of course, she has every right to also express how she felt. Hence the reason I said her feelings were valid because also During Dabota's hosting time, the whole beach resort, check all of Dabota's confessionals. She was dragging the living daylight out of Sophia, but Sophia extended that grace to her. Derogatory words, language that Dabota used to speak about her. Sophia did not really do half of it. So if
I'm
you
talking.
say, if you
Yeah.
say her feelings, her reactions were not valid, I don't think that's fair
No, in
because
her
Dabota was
confessionals.
really mean to
No,
her.
in their confessionals, I will not judge. I'm just saying that when she was talking at Caroline's event, where
Events,
the yeah, that
yes.
that was where I
Please,
had a
oh,
problem.
let me
Your
speak on that.
confessionals are your confessionals. I will not judge you for your confessionals because that is how you actually feel. But then when she was talking with the girls around, it would have been me, I was shocked too. But anyway, it was good. The vibe was good. We thought they were going to come and do it back. But instead, you took it as it was because the lifestyle pleased them. Like, come on. She would have said any other thing. No, but that was her being indirectly condescending too. It's more like,
Okay,
oh, they thought,
so you said she was being indirectly condescending.
yeah.
Do you know that it is also very condescending if someone tells you, "Oh, I'm coming on this person's boat," and you pick offense, and you're already thinking that who gave her a boat? How did she have a
No, she
boat?
didn't
And
even
then you go
think
and do
about it
research.
like that. She just said,
No, wait
I
now,
made
I'm just telling you
arrangements
according to
and
no, wait,
someone went to
hold on,
rent a
according to the
boat.
show.
Yeah.
According to the show,
Mm-hmm.
when they told Dabota, "Oh, I'm coming on Sophia's boat," da, 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 she already picked offense. She was already offended. And then she was going out of her way to do research. Does this person really have a boat? Do you know
No,
that that's also very
no.
condescending to think
Glory,
about the person like
glory,
that?
that's not what happened. She
Yes,
said
please.
when she went at the
Yes, please.
bonfire, she
See,
said
I have to
when
finish
she was
finish
talking,
my own stuff and leave here.
she said,
But
she
that
said,
conversation,
she said, I made arrangements and
hold on
someone
now.
rented a boat. Then Sophia said, excuse me, I didn't rent a boat, I own a boat. That
So
was
what
Mm-hmm.
what
don't you
triggered
think?
in that
That's what I'm
situation.
asking you. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking you. Don't you think it was condescending to refer to Sophia as someone rented a boat when they
No, it's
already
not
told you?
condescending, glory.
Ah,
No, that's not
They are
glory. That's
Lagos
not
I
girls.
condescending.
disagree.
They know
That's not
their self.
condescending. They
Condescending
didn't tell
care.
her.
I
No, glory. Hold on,
disagree.
please hold on, sister.
Uh-uh.
They did not tell her that it was Sophia's boat or Sophia owned the boat. I would assume that she also rented it because I also rented mine.
Exactly.
Dabota rented
Exactly.
her
They
own
know
boat,
their
so she
selves.
would also
Glory.
assume that Sophie
Especially
rented
knowing that,
hers.
Ayomide,
Everybody
yes,
will
this
assume that
person
we
was
all
in the
rented.
news
So
some
it was
few
not
months ago
condescending,
fighting for
glory.
house rent. How you
It
take buy
Ayomide,
wasn't.
boats?
It wasn't
How you take buy
condescending.
boats?
But before we even get there, hold on, please, guys. You see that conversation about them about Sophie referring to them as typical Lagos girls. I personally even took offense at that
Me
because
too.
that
Kai
conversation was
Noah.
not that conversation was not even during the Ghana trip. It was after at Caroline's
Yes.
house. That was when they
yes,
had
Yes.
she
that
mentioned it. Yeah.
conversation. And and Caroline was asking her that don't you see the way they switched up and all? And she was like, oh, she expected it. They're typical Lagos girls. And in my mind, I'm saying, what are you calling typical Lagos girls? First of all, Dabota was born into wealth. She married into wealth and she created her own wealth. Dabota and Sophie and Diadem, they built an empire that no one can take away from them. And that's what it truly means to be a bad bitch. That's what it means to live the soft life. So who are you calling typical Lagos girls? I took
It's
offense
Okay,
that she
Ayomide,
even referred to
glory.
them
It's
as
not
tell
typical
you this,
Lagos
condescending.
Ayomide.
girls.
Glory is
That
not
Ayomide,
was really
condescending.
condescending.
If
But
wait,
if I say,
let's
oh,
even
is
leave
that your
that.
Uber?
I
And
want
you'll
you to
be
talk
like,
about
oh, that's
something
my
else
car.
before I move
Ayomide,
on.
Ayomide, listen here. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of okay. Even Dabota asked the question during the reunion that can you afford a boat? And I've seen people also mention in the comment section of my video, even on social media, that oh, does Sophia know how much a boat costs? Can she even buy a boat?
She
My
can't.
brother, wait
She
now.
cannot.
She can, okay, hold on. Let me tell you something. Yeah, I think everybody should research the price of different kinds of boats. If you can buy a house on the island of Lagos, you
You
can
can
buy
buy
a
a
boat.
boat.
But
Hmm.
she
Yes.
doesn't even have a house.
You
She
don't
lives in a
know.
penthouse.
Do you
No, she
live with
said it.
her?
She
She
said
You
doesn't
don't
have
it.
a,
know.
she
She
doesn't.
lives in a
If
rented
Sophie owns,
penthouse.
Hold on
if
Dabota
now.
bought
Sophie,
her
Hold
house in
on.
Sophie that was
2018.
bragging that her boyfriend has a boat with her name on it, will not know she
Can
has
you
house.
guys
Be
hold on?
serious.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you
Glory, this is the
something,
most
yeah?
chaotic. This is the most chaotic life
Hold on. Let
ever.
me say okay, but we have to make our point. Hold on a second. Let me tell you something. And this is why I always say this on every single conversation I have here, that there is a danger of assuming what you don't know about the characters we're talking about. I'm not going to say that this person has this person has that. I don't live with them. As far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned, it is what you portray on the show that I go by. I'm not going to say that, oh, you have this, you have that. I don't know what you are worth. I don't know what you can afford. But I am saying this about having a boat because during the reunion, Dabota was like, oh, do you know how much a boat is? Can you have a boat? And I'm saying that boats are not myths. Like, how do I put it now? People talk about the idea of having a boat as if it's a taboo. It is only the likes of Aliko Dangote or Jeff Bezos that can afford a boat. There are different types of boats. There are different sizes of boats. If you have 50 million naira, you can get a boat. It is not a cutthroat affair that you cannot afford. So people saying that can she have a boat? Does she know what it means to have a boat? You can have a boat. That's why I said there are different sizes and different types of boats. That is on the side, right? So if Sophia is saying, or rather, if Caroline and Mariam had already mentioned to Caroline that, oh, I'm coming on Sophia's boat, I
But
think it's very condescending that at the bonfire night, you are referring that, oh, so is it someone or some people went to go and rent a boat? I
rent
think
a
it's
boat.
condescending. And let me tell you something, Ayomide. If you don't see how condescending it is, wait till it happens to you. Because the fact still remains that you know who you are, you know your worth, right? And then if
Mhm.
somebody tries to belittle you like
To
that in
water
a
it
very
down.
dismissive manner, that is condescending. Condescension does not always mean when somebody looks in your face and says something. If they make an offhanded comment about you or about your hustle, it is also very condescending. And that's why I'm arguing with Sarah that that was very condescending, that
Sending.
statement. Because no, you will look at it that way because for you, it doesn't really matter. But if it happens to you directly, you will know that that is an insult. And people saying that Sophia was rude for correcting Dabota that no, I came on my boat. I don't think that that was her being disrespectful. No,
Glory, it didn't
But
end
that
there.
was
It didn't
condescending
end there.
too.
It didn't end
That
there.
was
She said,
condescending too.
no, she
She
said,
said,
it's not
"No,
my
I own
fault
a
that I
boat."
have soft life. You have to struggle to whoa, but I don't have to. These things come to me
Please,
soft.
we need to
She
leave this
even
boat
still went
alone.
ahead to say that Bota was not a diva.
Sarah, we need to leave this boat alone. Oh. Please, I even want to
She's
say
forced.
something before I leave.
hey, wait. Okay, we have somebody with us, and this person has not spoken yet. Veronica. Veronica, please let's hear from you, please. Veronica, are you there? Let's hear from you, please. Or maybe she has dropped
Can I
off.
quickly say
Okay,
something before I leave?
okay, Ayomide, go ahead, please.
Okay, Sarah, you've eaten out of my time, oh, but okay. So I was
Sorry,
going to,
Ayomide.
so I was going to talk about the Diadem and Sophie issue. You know,
Yeah,
and I know you were also implying like the excuse that what's her name Diadem gave might be just
yeah,
PR. I think all of them are even doing PR. But what me I'm even saying is that the issue people keep saying that Dabota no Diadem, she interfered with Dabota to attack Sophie. That's wrong. I said it before in the last life that what really happened that night was what Diadem explained. Because when they walked in, she said hi to them. Yes, she was cold. We all saw that she was cold. She said hi to them. Then she sat down. I think they exchanged pleasantries. She sat down. She was pressing her phone. She was cold. But immediately they sat down. I think when she dropped the phone, she and Sophie were talking. In fact, that night, she and Caroline, they still laughed. They ate. I saw them eating something, laughing. Now, she and Dabota were talking. Dabota, I'm sorry, she and Sophie. Sophie was like, oh, you look, I like your lip gloss. It's so nice. And then the other was like, oh, it's from Beauty and 80, from Beauty by 80. And that was when Sophie now said that, oh, I think I'll come to your store one of these days to pick it up. And they laughed. They did some side talks. Then later, fast forward to when Miriam said that thing, that Yoruba thing. And she said, I dare your bag. She said in Yoruba. And she felt snubbed. I think it's valid that she felt snubbed by Sophie. And that was why the next day at the fashion show, when they were all talking, she had to interfere that, oh, we are not friends. So I stretched out a arm of friendship, and she snubbed me. So I think that was valid because there was no tension between herself and Sophie that night. She said hi to Sophie. They had a chit chat. I went back again to watch that episode. They had
Did
a
you
chit
watch
chat.
Sophie's confessional? Did you hear how she
Yes,
felt?
Sophie said no. Sophie said that she was
Sophie was even
cold.
condescending to Diadem in her
No, Sophie,
confessional.
Sophie even said that she was
Yes.
cold, and we all agreed that she was cold. But my point is that there was no tension. And if the other was saying that she felt snubbed, then she felt snubbed. That's what I'm trying to say, that she felt
Good.
snubbed. And that's
You're
why
not
she had to
And we
come in
agree and we
the next day
agree
to say
that
that, oh, we are not friends, oh, she
Diadem's
snubbed me, blah, blah,
feelings.
blah.
Hold on, please. Ayomide, listen. I agree with you. I've been saying it since I and Atifumi were having a conversation that both Dabota and Diadem's feelings about the lateness is valid. Nobody can contest that because
mm.
nobody likes to be kept waiting for 3 hours.
So their
What I
reaction
was
too is
saying, hold on,
valid.
please. What I was saying was that yes, what's her name? Diadem was cold. She was withdrawn. She was barely looking up from her phone for whatever reason. She gave a reason, anyways, during the reunion, right? She was cold. It was felt by Mariam, Caroline, and Sophia. And it was valid that they felt it because that was what they felt. They were the ones there. Even the viewers saw that Diadem's countenance was cold. And some people gave her a pass. That, okay, fine. It's understandable. She's still upset from the lateness earlier on, right? Now, her touching or rather tapping Sophia on the back, Sophia's reaction was also valid because people interpret gestures and actions differently. You were cold towards me a minute ago, and suddenly you are tapping me on the back and saying, "No, I got you." Me too, I'll feel wary of you. Like, oh no, don't worry. I'm a one woman squad, or however way she put it. It's valid. Then them also feeling embarrassed is valid. What I'm trying
Mhm.
to say here is we need to acknowledge the
Yeah.
validity of all these women's
Everybody's
feelings.
feelings and
We cannot
perceptions.
say we cannot say that we accept Diadem's feelings as valid and then we zero out Sophia's reaction. No, they are
Mm.
humans at the end of the day. Actions beget reactions. If you did this to me and I react, fine, for a good reason. It's valid. That's what I'm saying. We need to acknowledge that, okay, this person did this, I reacted. This one did this, I reacted. Ayomide saying that, oh, I agree, Diadem was cold, but Sophia, why did,
Mhm.
no, this one did this, it's valid. This one did this, it's valid.
Joey, let me ask you, right? Do
Yeah.
you think that Sophie was condescending when she said, "Oh, Diadem, I know her, but we don't roll in the same circles," and laughed and then said, "I don't mean to be cheeky."
I don't think she was condescending. You know why? Because this entire season, right?
Mm.
When women are asked about their relationships about their fellow, cast member, they express how they know the person. Even between Diadem and Dabota, are you people? I think they asked them, "Are you people friends?" This one said, "No, we are acquaintances."
Mm-hmm.
It was towards the end of the season that their bond became stronger. And then even at the reunion, when the host asked, Dabota said, "No, she's not my friend now. We are sisters." You can
Mm.
see that there's been a
Dynamics
growth.
is changing.
Exactly. So they
But
did
what
not
I'm
start off
saying
as
is,
sisters.
what I'm saying is, For me, I think
Glory,
Sophie
what I was
came
even
up.
trying to drive home at was
Can you
is
hold on,
that
please? Let the person that is speaking finish speaking. Yeah.
I,
Sorry,
no,
I
Adeyemi,
I
keep.
think
didn't
that
hear
she
anyone
she she
speaking.
came like on a high horse, because if I'm to say, oh, I know this person, but we do not roll in the same circle, and I'm not trying to be cheeky, that's being, I don't know, it rubbed me off wrong. Even though that them to say, I know Sophie Imade's mom, like, oh, that's one thing we know she's good at. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Like, she might have had other perceptions about her, but me saying that me and it's like saying someone is not your, it's like we don't roll or we don't, it's like you're not on my level, that kind of thing. So
No, no.
for
I
me,
think
it
you
rubbed
read
me
it the
up the
wrong
wrong
way.
way.
I think you read it the wrong way because I've been saying this since reviewing the show. In Lagos, it's a real thing. There are different social circles or friendship circles in this Lagos. If you follow the gist very well, there are even certain circles that have clashed. There are even certain circles that they don't see each other in public and say hi. This one I have my friend, this one I have my circle. Now, sometimes circles does not mean we hate each other or we don't like each other. It simply means I have my own group of friends, we hang out together. I might have seen you at one event or the other, or maybe heard about you on social media, but it does not mean we are friends or acquainted or we've crossed paths. It happens that way. It's the same thing as Chioma and what's her name? Laura in season one. Laura buys hairs from Chioma, it does not mean they are best of friends. You can be patronizing a hair vendor, maybe a popular hair vendor, and in your when you go to a store, both of you have this very, very cordial relationship. But it does not mean that you people are friends. And I think that validates both Dabota and Diadem's responses when they were equally asked about their friendship situation on the show from the beginning. They both agreed that they are just business acquaintances, they were not friends. It was when all these quarrels started happening and they realized that, okay, all we have in this group is each other. Their friendship now started growing from there, which is something that really worries me also that I haven't mentioned. When people become best friends in situations like that, where it's like both of us against the world, that friendship has a possibility of getting really precarious because if it's not a friendship that is built on that genuine connection, it might not survive. If you now look at each other and realize that, okay, there's a loophole, maybe this one person is lording over the other person, or maybe I have to shrink for this other person to shine. Oh, these two people are actually in the same business. They have makeup brands and they are actually competitors to each other in this same Nigerian business environment. That is another thing that could possibly shake up their friendship. Do you understand? But that is by the way. I'm saying that when somebody says, oh, I know the person, but we are not in the same circle, it's not condescending because
But then she
that is how
laughed.
people.
She laughed and said, and I don't mean to be cheeky. I know when I use that word.
Yes, because she because there's a
I can
possibility she
just
knows that
say,
people might read it the wrong way.
I can just say this person is not my cup of tea, and they're like, what? I'm like, I don't mean to be cheeky. Like, I know what I mean. If I use that phrase, I literally know what I mean if I say that. So it's more like, okay, I don't mean to be insultive or I don't mean to sound rude, but this person is not my cup of tea. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I'm saying if I'm
If
to
you
use
say
that
this
word,
person is not my cup of tea, let me tell
yeah.
you the truth, yeah. If you
Mm.
say this person is not my cup of tea, that even sounds more condescending than saying that I might know this person, but we don't roll in the same circle. This person is not my cup of tea. It's like saying I don't give two fucks about this person.
That,
But when
yeah,
you
that's what
say
I'm saying. I won't even use that kind of word because I know that I am being cheeky at the moment. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying,
Anyway,
but that's what I'm explaining to you. That's what I'm explaining to you that because it is a thing in this Lagos, it is a
mm.
reality in this Lagos that there are different circles in this Lagos. There are different friendship circles, there are different cliques, there are different social circles, there are different status circles, there are different class circles. The truth
And that's
is,
the
it is a
classism I
thing.
said she came with on the show. She came with that. I mean, for me, I feel like I see her like someone who is classist. It's like, oh, I'm there, you're not, I'm this. I don't know. That's how I see her. Because if it's a different thing if you say, oh, I know this person but afar, from afar. Oh, I know this person as someone that has a makeup brand. Fine. You're not trying to measure the person. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you mean,
So,
but I'm
but
also
talking
telling
about
you.
circle and saying you not even run into her in Lagos or something because we don't, it's you trying to measure that person and saying, oh, this person is not there, is not where I am. And I feel like that was her character throughout the show. Like,
Okay, okay, let me tell you this here.
yeah.
Do you know that on this Real Housewives show, what's her name now? Sophia is not the only person that has said we don't roll in the same circle. Because as I'm telling you, it is a thing, it is a lifestyle in this Lagos. It is a lifestyle. When people say no, we don't roll in the same circle, we don't roll in the same friendship circle, they are indirectly telling you that they have their own people they hang out with. So even if they've probably seen this person in public or heard about this person on social media, they do not necessarily have any business with this person. It's just like saying we are acquaintances, but we are not friends because there's a difference. That's why I'm telling you that we not all in the same circle. It's a thing. It's a
No, no,
lifestyle.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm saying that I think with from that comment to the whole both thing to calling them Lagos girls, I think that is what is robbing people off to say you, Sophie, you're literally a Lagos girl. You are exactly what you're calling these girls to be. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It's like you feel like, oh, now I am refined. I am refined and I am not that in that Lagos girl class. That's what I'm saying. That's what me I think. And that was why the whole private jetty thing was, oh yeah, she's got class, she's this, she's that. But she's literally a Lagos. I think the only person that I'll say is not a Lagos girl in that circle would be Miriam. Because we don't see her do all those but the rest of them are Lagos girls now.
But you see
So
what I mentioned before to Ayomide about
mm,
condescend people being condescending. I mentioned that when someone is being condescending towards you, it doesn't have to be the person coming to your face
mm-hmm,
directly. It could be how they describe you or dismiss you. From Dabota's confessionals, like from the very get go, even before meeting Sophia, Dabota had been condescending. And that is what a lot of people are refusing to
yeah, I
see
get what you
and
mean. Yeah.
accept. Sorry?
No, I get what you mean. I get what
Yeah,
you mean. Yeah.
exactly. She had been condescending even before meeting Sophia, right? Now, personally, I did not really see it as a thing because
Mm,
for me, I was watching a show. They were giving us
mm,
drama. It's playing out. And this is something that exists amongst these housewives, according to how the franchise is. Where I started nitpicking was where people were giving reactions and people were now trying to water down Dabota's own condescending behavior, and then they were elevating the things that Sophia was saying. Anybody that follows the Real Housewives franchise knows that these women, they always try to be very shady. They always try to be very sweet or salty, like it's drama. So they try to really amplify the things they say, even little things, they try to really amplify it, right? So Sophia coming in with that, sorry?
no, no, no. I didn't say
Okay,
anything.
so
Yeah.
Sophia coming in with that, and we don't roll in the same circle. That is proper real housewife behavior. But I still maintain that I don't think it was condescending. Because when you come to a show like that, you want to prove that, okay, I can be a housewife. I can bring the drama. I can bring the vibe. And
Mm-hmm.
Sophia was really trying to exude that vibe.
Until
Dabota
she
is the
lied
same thing.
about owning a boat.
Well, people can say
Yeah.
she lied about owning a boat, but I mentioned on my video that If my family owns a boat, I do not owe anybody any explanation to go and start saying, oh, my uncle or my daddy bought a boat. And
But
so
her
because I'm the only
uncle
person that
doesn't,
uses
her
the boat,
family doesn't even own a boat. It's not true.
do
They
you know?
don't. Yes, for is a fact. They don't own any boat. I'm sorry. They don't own any boat. The most influential person in Sophie's family is her uncle.
Are
And
you related to Sophia?
I'm telling you, okay, you don't know. Do you even know that Sophie's real name is Maureen? Sophie grew up in
Okay.
KD. Yeah, that's why she speaks Hausa. So,
I
my
know
dear,
she mentioned that she grew
yeah.
up in
So,
the
where did
town.
she learn Hausa from? Proper KD girl.
Yeah, but the
So,
question I'm asking you is, I'm really asking you this question not to rub you off wrongly, but I want to
mm,
be sure because I
she
do
does
not.
not, her family do not own a boat. She does not own a boat.
Okay, wait, simple question, yeah. Are
Yeah.
you in any way related
Yeah,
to
not
Sophia?
related, but inside info, there is no boat. I'm
Okay, another
sorry.
question to you. Another question to you. Are
Yeah.
you aware of all of our family's assets, all their
Hmm.
properties and assets, everything?
I don't know. It's like you guys are still, I don't know.
No,
Anyway,
I'm asking. Do you
no,
know why
I'm
I'm
just
asking you that,
telling you
that
that
question?
the most
Do you know why I'm asking
influential
you that question?
person, the most influential person in her family is Dele Momodu. Ovation,
Okay, I
right?
know Adeyemi Momodu as one who has thrived in government,
Mm-hmm.
um, Ovation magazine owner, still
Exactly.
thriving, and I think he was once a presidential candidate, I think. But the question I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking you is this, and I know why I'm asking this question. I'll explain, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain information you think you know about a family because somebody told you, or maybe you heard it from somewhere, and you think you have a reliable source. That's the reason I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking you, are you aware of every single property, asset that Sophia's entire family owns? Do you know? Have you seen the documents? Do you know? Are you sure? Do you know?
That it's not even possible for me to know, but there are a lot of things that will be public knowledge. A lot of
So,
things
and
that
that
will
is
be
why I
public
always
knowledge.
say that
Mm-hmm.
let us try to desist from the actual personal lives of these women.
Mm,
Because, as I will still say again, if you have not seen their birth certificates, their house documents. If you do not have access to those documents, if you don't know how much they have in their bank accounts, in every single one of them, if you don't know all these things, don't say you know. Do you understand? Because there's a possibility that one person can have five different accounts. There's a possibility that people have properties, assets, landed properties, building structures, and they put it in different locations and you don't know. Public knowledge is never the real knowledge.
Glory. Of course, I would have not seen the papers, but there is no boat except if she bought one this afternoon. There is no boat.
So if
There's no
Sophia's
boat. I'm
uncle
sorry.
has a boat, if
He
Sophia's
doesn't have, he
uncle,
doesn't own a boat. He does, and I don't want to say certain things because that's me then going to be condescending with maybe things I know, especially if you're saying we shouldn't talk about their private lives. But it's not even about it's not about, because if you start saying, oh, I know this, I know that, oh, she's not up to that, or her family is this, her family is that, that's me being condescending. And I don't want to be that. All I'm just saying is, if you're coming out on TV, I'm a mother, you're a mother, we should be able to, even if we want to do certain things, not exaggerate and be honest. That is just for me. Just be honest. Yes, I know for drama, for this, for that, there are just certain things that you shouldn't do. That's just
so
what I
that's
feel.
why, and I totally
Yeah.
agree
That's
with
just
you.
what I feel.
I totally agree with you. Your feelings are valid, but
She's
I will
she's
still.
she's and I feel like people think that people hate her. For me, I feel like Sophia is an amazing person. She's an amazing mother. And if she was to focus on her strengths and things she's good at, then instead of trying to have this picture to show society or purpose or do certain things, then she will be an amazing person. That's why I feel she's very mature. So it's not even a matter of hating her. It's saying that if you will just be who you are, be yourself. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And that's
I
why I'll
get
say
what
I
you're
kind of
saying.
like Diadem, because in as much as maybe she don't try do Lagos big girl, she still they blow her Yoruba, still they form this is
So
who I am and all that.
let me
So
tell you this. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this for
mm,
free. Let me tell you this for free. And I'll tell you the reason why I kept on probing about if you've seen all of Sophia's family's documents, their landed
mm,
assets or properties or whatever it is they own as a family. The reason I'm saying this is I know of a particular family in this Nigeria. I'm not going to mention which particular state they live in. I know of a
mm,
family, yeah. They it is common knowledge, like it is public knowledge, that the family owns two streets in a part of Nigeria. I don't want to say which state. But
mm,
what is not common knowledge is the depth of this family's wealth in terms of landed properties. If they tell you, you'll be shocked because you would think, I thought they own only these two streets, but they actually have a lot of it. The reason why it is not common knowledge is best known to them. I don't know.
mm,
I did not ask questions. And
yeah.
that's the reason from that story, I learned a lesson that what you think you know as public knowledge or common knowledge is never the entire knowledge. It is never the complete. There's a difference. Common knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
entire truth, or the entire knowledge, what exists. It's never it. So you are here. You say, "Oh, our family does not have a boat. Our family does not have a boat," and that's why I'm asking you, how deeply involved are you? So are you in Sophia's family that you know that they don't have a boat? What if they have a boat that is not common knowledge? What if they have properties that is not public knowledge? What if Sophia actually does have a boat that is not common knowledge? I will tell you that none of us knows the answer to these questions because Sophia has never brought out documents to come and say, oh, this is that, this, that. We don't know. We don't know all of what she's worth. We don't know all of her family's entire assets. And you cannot stay here and say that the only influential person in Sophia's family is Dele Momodu. My sister, you don't know. You don't know.
Hmm.
That's why I said,
No, Gloria, I
except
like that you're giving this benefit of doubt. Oh, but I'm saying that I don't know because if I start saying certain things, people will just think, oh, it's because you hate Sophia. But I don't know when you know someone to an extent and you're like, I don't know, just you guys, may social media celebrities no make una go live fake life. Oh, don't let nobody be your role model because we all know that in this Lagos, you said it, there are circles, it's packaging. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And even inside that packaging, there are people that they know them to their father's compound, to their mother's compound, to what their mother do for a living, what their fathers do for a living. So when you come and but then people say, oh, do you have your facts? Do you have your facts? You might not have facts, but these people might have literally been your neighbor when you guys were growing up, and you'd be like, don't be this person where I know for I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I get
So
what you mean, and
it's
that is the
also
more reason.
invalid if you think that someone has experienced a family or a person in a certain way, and okay, I know this person beyond this facade, but then you be like,
See,
oh, because you don't have paper documents is not valid. I'm
and
just
that is
saying,
and that is
that
the more
I
reason why
yeah.
you see. It's just like, for instance, now where I live, I have neighbors. I can tell you that it's only one of my neighbor that I have had interactions with, but I've never entered this person's house. This is my third year living here. I've never
Mm.
entered this person's house. We only see like maybe once in a blue moon. And even though this person is my neighbor, maybe I hear the person's voice one day, it doesn't mean I know anything about the
It
person.
that was this
And
is today.
as you
Mm-hmm.
rightly said, people might be putting up a facade on social media or wherever they live, but the fact still remains that you don't know. I'll give you an example. My
Mm.
mother, my siblings, they don't know They don't know 70% of my life. They only know what I tell them. And
Mm-hmm.
there's something you also should know, yeah? People create perceptions about themselves. They create a perception of how they want people to perceive them. And if you're not careful, you might swallow that perception hook, line, and sinker and think that that is the entire truth of their existence. But you
Exactly.
don't know. That's what I'm saying. That even though you know that Sophia is a KB girl, or whether you were a neighbor, or maybe you know somebody from a circle, that person from the circle that is probably giving you the information, or maybe anyhow you're getting the information,
Mm-hmm.
it might not be entirely true
I agree,
because you do
Glory.
not know.
You've said something now. You've said
Mm-hmm.
something like you have a neighbor now and you've not entered their house in 3 years. It's the same thing with me. I have someone who's just next door. We take each other's parcels when nobody is home and all that. But it wasn't the same back in the day. Back in the day, you will go to your neighbor's house. I'm telling you this now. I don't know for the north or middle belt. That was how we grew up. You see your neighbor's mother coming from up the street. You go, you get their bags, you take it into the house. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? You will go to
Yeah.
your neighbors, you will eat. It was like communal. So it's not even a matter of, oh, someone said that, 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 that.
Okay,
No.
so
And
because you
that
eat
is,
in your neighbor's house, does that mean that you have access to all their assets
no,
and
you don't even
properties?
understand what I'm saying. You don't
No,
even get
no,
what I'm
it's
not saying is
not true.
exactly. You might not have the exact facts, but to an extent, if we believe everything that people show us, then we're gullible. And in as much as if we doubt everything they tell us, then we become paranoid. I agree. I'm
I
just
agree with
saying that
you.
all I'm saying is that you should not be caught in a lie only because you want to like have an image or show that you're something, and just be yourself. Because the yourself, and that's why I keep saying it all the time. I wish she will just focus on how good she is, on the things that she does, instead of all these other things of this whole trying to be this thing. Because behind that person that wants to be another person, the you that people know is far much better than the thing you're trying to create. That's all I'm saying.
Sarah,
That's
Sarah,
all.
let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Even Caroline said herself during a
Mm,
confessional about that whole Ghana trip that
mm,
Sophia must have roughly spent about $50,000 to rent the private jet. We all know that renting a private jet is an extreme
expensive.
sport.
Yeah,
You
it
must
is.
have access to waste for you to be able to rent a private jet, to and fro. Yeah. So
Mm,
here's the question. Why will Sophia, if people think that Sophia is living a fake lifestyle, and this is me speaking from what was shown on the show, if people think
mm,
she's living a fake lifestyle, where do they think she got over 50? Let's assume now $50,000 based on what Caroline said. Why would
mm.
someone that is living a fake lifestyle spend over $50,000 on
Tinder
renting a
swing.
private jet?
Tinder
Sorry?
swindler. Tinder
Sorry?
swindler. That's just an example. Did you watch Tinder Swindler? That's just an
Yes.
example of
Sorry.
what people do. Anyway, I just want, yeah.
Hello.
If you're saying what if, I'm saying what if. The
I'm
other
sorry.
thing I wanted to ask, right? So,
Can I ask
Glory,
a quick
just to
question?
tell me, right? I want to be sure, right? So, in the
Mhm,
franchise, I don't know if it's just Nigeria. Do you get
mhm.
a budget from the franchise to host your event, or the budget comes from your pockets? That's one thing I want
So,
to know.
so from what I know about
Mm,
other franchise, not just
franchise.
other franchise, sometimes other shows, even other shows that I review, sometimes the franchise hosts these events for you, and there are
Mm,
some other events that the franchise does not host for you.
host.
I'm not
Mm.
really sure what it is on the Real
Mm,
Housewives of Lagos, right?
yeah,
But for Caroline to say that Sophia possibly spent over that amount renting a private jet, right? I think we will have to wait and see if
it was
production
paid by franchise or it was
would
from her
tell,
pocket.
yeah, they would tell us.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
also remember, Dabota says she spent this particular amount
Yeah,
to
of course.
rent
They
a
have
boat.
to leave
No,
it. They're
production,
trying to
hold
show
on.
a reality.
Yeah,
They're not
hold
going
on.
to say
She said,
production. Yeah.
hold on. She said she spent this particular amount to rent the beach house, to rent the boat.
Mm.
Nobody told us, nobody cleared the air if Dabota did that with
Was
her
her
personal
money.
money or
Yeah.
if it was production that paid for her. So all of these loopholes will need to be
To be
covered
cleared.
by
Yeah.
production. Yeah. But I think we've stayed too long on this Sophia thing. Bella is here. She wanted to say something. Bella, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Hey, sorry I came back. Well, I was listening to this lady. Sorry, I don't know your name. I apologize. But first of all, yes, you made some really valid points. The TV is just that. It is a TV, and social media is quite fake. But that does not, like, I feel like you have a very personal issue with the lady, because most of these
No.
ladies on that, bear with me, you did
Mm-hmm.
speak and I didn't
I know.
interrupt you.
Yeah.
um it feels like that's what it feels like to me. I'm just saying, doesn't matter whether it is or it isn't, it's an opinion. Just as you've been giving your opinion on Sophia. And secondly, like, I want to find out from you, because I want to know, does access grant authority or does authority grant access? Because at the end of the day, even though whether she owns the boat or not, she has access to it. And for all intents and purposes, whoever she invites on there, due to her access and her authority to utilize the boat, she can say it's hers. It doesn't matter. And none of you, everybody that is talking about whether she owns it or not, none of us is going to buy a boat. That's the main thing. They do this for our entertainment. You understand?
Yeah,
It's purely entertainment. And entertainment is usually a caricature of real life. It's not reality. We know these people, yes. Most of the people we've known on TV, most of their status has been raised by being on TV. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have the finances to actually befit their lifestyle, because most wealthy people don't do what they do. You understand? Most wealthy people wouldn't go on TV. You understand me? But it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like a lot of what is being argued about, yes, this girl was vindictive. If you invite me somewhere and you take me into a room that is next to a bathroom, I'm not even staying there. I'm not even polite. I would leave. That's me. Because I have a house, I have a bed, I have my own comforts, my own creature comforts. For you to do that, you were deliberately insulting her. And that's the fact of the matter. So everybody's saying that either that she was being, yes, she was being rude. That's the first time they met. That's the first, according to the show. You understand? And you saying that you're not in the same social circle is true. If you're not in the same social circle, I don't roll with you. I stay by myself. If I meet a lot of people, I know of them. I'm not in. We don't hang together. I could have heard their gist. I could have heard their. I could. I've had things. I've heard things about so many people that are famous, but it doesn't mean I know them. I don't personally know them. I've heard of the gist according to the person that is telling me. There is the truth, the gist, and the reality. You
true.
understand? Coming from real life, that's just the way it is. And gist is gist, as in people embellish, people take out things. That's
True.
depending on who you're talking to. If the person likes you, they will embellish positively. If the person hates you, they will embellish negatively. So that's just the truth of the matter. So, like, all the things about the boat not being her boat, or whether it is her boat, or I feel like, no, that's not really the question. When they got on the boat, when they got to the place, you're the host. You understand? Whether you people paid, whoever had the whatever, that's your financial. As far as I'm watching the show, if these girls don't come up with the fashion, they don't come up with the cars, they don't come up with the looks. You understand? We that are still sitting on this podcast, we will still be abusing them. Broke ass. When Laura was looking like she hadn't got herself together properly, it was we that came on this show. We were still talking about her fashion, her style, her this. Now someone is saying that their father is president of the world, and everybody is saying, oh yeah, prove to me your father is. But no. Pick a zone. If you're going to watch this thing, let's watch it as it's intended entertainment.
Yeah.
Bella,
You understand?
Bella,
That's
I
just all I'm
I
saying.
totally agree with you. That's why I spoke about a facade. That it's not everything we see on TV that we believe. I said that clearly from the beginning. The only thing I said was the reason why the boat is a conversation, it was because I said it was a housewife on its own. Because there was so many talks about, oh, I'm big, I don't have to fake soft life comes to me and all that. And if it was for drama or TV, that's fine. But then if you want to do it for drama for TV, just make sure that you're clear and you don't go and look embarrassed or look like you're lying. That's all, because that's what people are going to pick on. And that's what the conversation has been on about. Everyone who
Yeah,
comes here wants to talk about it. And that's what makes it the show. Because, yeah, we're talking about it.
yeah, but
I'm
you
just saying that you don't
sorry, go
want to
on.
go and tarnish or then go and next thing you post, they say, oh, this girl that lied about a boat. Then it's not worth it.
But
I don't know
but
if
but
you
in
get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
Yeah, that's all. I'm not,
there
it's
was
not
the
that.
housewife, yeah, that got
Mm,
arrested on Salt Lake, yeah. And when they did, because she missed the fraud, she did some fraud or something, right? It's there, it's not just, it's actually there. She got arrested, she's currently in jail. And when they went to go and appraise her stuff because they wanted to recuperate the money, they found out
yeah,
everything she had was fake. You understand? According to them, it was fake. But what now that America and China are fighting, we are finding out that all the luxury goods that people are spending 40,000 on
fake.
It's
Hermes,
really
that
China.
according to them, made in China. My sister, let us breathe this thing out. You
I
understand?
swear.
Let
Fake
us
life.
breathe. See, nothing is fake. It is all about stamping. You understand? See,
Packaging.
that's what I said at the end. That's why I said authorization and access. At the end of the day, these people here in
It's
America, they
coming by
rent
10,
they
10
rent
o'clock.
stuff. You understand? They rent stuff to basically make themselves
Yeah,
look good. You understand?
yeah.
And it's even in England, someone tried to do renting of Louboutins when Louboutins were hot. You understand? And we found out
Mm,
it was whatever it was. But regardless, yeah, everybody packaged. They said fake it till you make it. Oyinbo people that said fake it till you make it, they had a reason for that, because even them, their original forefathers, faked it until they made it.
that's why
You
there's a lot
understand?
of broke celebrities because of
Yes,
that.
there is,
I don't know. I think that's why
but
for
that is
me,
the
from the
fact.
way you're talking, I know you're American, and that's why I really like England. Maybe not because they're
I
conservative,
am
but
I am
we're
actually
not
British.
loud. I don't
No,
know. Eh?
I am British, and
I
I am very
You're
British.
giving that American
I
vibe.
am because I've stayed in all three places. I've stayed in
Okay, makes
Nigeria, I
sense.
stayed in Abuja, I stayed in Lagos, I've stayed in London,
Yeah,
I've stayed in Scotland, and I've stayed in America, LA. So I've stayed in all three places, and I understand the complexities of each place.
yeah,
But
yeah.
before I went to Nigeria, I used to think to myself, all these girls that are there doing all this for money and this, I never understood until you get broke and your pounds are not poundsing anymore and you actually
Mm,
have to get a job. You understand why these women do what they do. I don't accept it. I don't agree with it, but it is what
yeah,
it is. Nobody
yeah.
can
Yes.
deny how Africa is. Nobody can
Mm.
deny how, and like when when you have the privilege of being a black person in a first world country, doesn't give you the right to condescend other people that
Yeah,
live in a
yeah.
third world country and judge their attribute, because bearing in mind that we were not here when they were in their third world stage,
Mm,
Yeah.
and
So
that's
Sarah,
just the
I,
truth.
I, I, I like the fact that you restated that you were trying to, probably create awareness of how people create a facade on social media, which is true and fine. That
mm.
exists, but when you and I were going back and forth about Sophia both Sophia, yeah, you were very rigid on your belief that the only high profile person in her family was Dele Momodu. Her family does not have a boat. And that was why I kept on going back,
No, no, no. I get what
with
you're
you.
saying. No, yeah.
Yeah. So I just need you, moving forward, to desist from, holding such a very rigid belief.
No, what I'm
Because,
saying is, what
because
if I'm very sure of what I'm saying? That's why I said, except if this afternoon, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I said, except if this afternoon, while I was at work, right? She got a boat. Except if this afternoon, then I
anyway,
am wrong. But
anyways,
from
it's
what I
just it's
know,
just an advice. If
no,
you
I know
can.
what you're saying, but if I know something and I'm sure of something, you cannot tell me to be unsure of it because you think that, oh, I might not have that knowledge. I don't know if you get what you're saying is right, and what I'm saying too, like the two truths can like coexist.
Coexist.
Yeah,
No,
it
the
can
truths
happen.
that
It's
cannot
okay not to
coexist.
hold those rigid views if you're unsure. But if you are sure of what you're saying, I wouldn't let you make me doubt
Okay.
myself if I know what
Okay,
I'm
Sarah,
saying. That's
Sarah,
what I mean.
do you know why I went back to this? It's
Yeah.
because if you remember, not long ago, I
Mm.
asked you a very simple question. I asked you, do you have access to all of Sophia's family assets and properties?
But that's
Do you
you
have
being
access
very
to
far
every?
fetched. That's
No,
you
hold
being
on
far.
now.
What? Yeah.
Hold on. I'm not attacking you. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
attacking
get
you. Hold
you.
on. I had asked you if you have access to every single property or asset that the family owns. Because as you're still saying, you said you know what you know. And I asked you that question. You said you don't have access, you don't know. So that's why I'm telling you that because you don't know the entirety
I don't
of
have
these
paper
people's.
evidence, you mean? I don't have documents. Yes, I don't have. But what I know, I know. And that can also
What do you
exist.
know? What do you know? Do you know
Why?
every single one of their property or assets? That's what I asked you. Do you
No, but
know?
just glory, just leave it like that. We don't have to do that. I'm just saying that it's just like glory, you saying you know Bella, right? Aside this life. And I'm like, oh, I was
I
in her
bet she
house
knows me
today.
or leave me
She
out
has
of
a
this.
Lambo. And I'm like, how are
I
you
do.
sure? How are you sure Bella has a Lambo? Did you see the papers? You know whether she bought it on contract? Do you know if it's finance? How are you sure she used her money to, like, there are certain things that if you know, you know. I don't know if you get what I
And do you
mean.
know that if Bella tells me, do you know that Bella can tell me that she has a Lambo, which could
Mm-hmm.
also be public knowledge. But the truth could be that Bella does not only have a Lambo, Bella possibly has a Porsche, a Range, or varieties. She possibly also has a yacht, but she chose to
Amen.
only tell me that she has a Lambo. That's what I'm telling you, that
Mm-hmm.
there's public knowledge, there is the real and
Gist.
entire truth.
And
So
there's
what I'm
facts.
telling you is you have your truth, right? Or what you
Mm-hmm.
say you know. Hold it to yourself. Why I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you this is you need to see the comment section. Everybody, like, it doesn't really look good how people are viewing you. People
No,
think
I
you're
don't.
jealous
The
of
thing
so.
is, I
Wait
don't
now,
care. Do you know why?
wait.
I've been seeing their comments. I don't care why, because it's okay for them to have a perception that I might be jealous of Sophia, or that, but that's not a fact, and that's fine. And if Sophie feels like, oh, I'm lying that she doesn't have a boat, she has a boat. It won't take the boat away from her dockyard. That's what I mean. So it's not about look; it's about who I am, and I'm not going to let strangers on a live show to tell me, oh, you're a jealous person when people in real life don't, it's not a fact. So I'm not bothered about what they're saying. They don't know me. I don't care for them. So
Yeah,
if it's
but
by look, it
sorry,
doesn't bother me.
can I interject here? You say
Yeah.
you don't mind all that. That's fine and that's good. And you
Yeah.
shouldn't be affected by people that you don't know, but
Online.
also online,
Yeah.
yes. But also, yeah, if they say a good name is worth more than gold, you are like a personal image of an individual is being wrecked in public, regardless of what you personally know, which cannot be stated in public to us that you are asserting the fact, your fact too. It is your
Yeah.
fact. Let's be honest, it is primarily your fact. So it is
Exactly.
now, it's now what it is, we the viewers or we the witnesses, or if we were in court, like it would now be an allegation. An allegation is an unproven fact. So what
Okay.
you're saying to
Allegedly.
us, yes, it's alleged, yeah. So it's now, yeah, if we the court of public opinion and the jury in the masses, yeah, are going to
Yeah.
sit through this, we're going to say you are alleging,
Oh yeah,
and
I
this
agree. I'm
chick
a legend. That's why
does
I said
not
I
have.
know. That's why I
Mhm.
said I know for a fact. I didn't say you have to accept the facts. There are
But the
two
fact that
things.
you're
You
I
know
didn't
what
say
stating it,
fact
yeah, but the fact
means.
that you're
no.
the
That's why I
You
fact
said
know
that
what
I
you
fact
know.
the fact is
means.
a
That's
proven
what I said.
reality. Yes,
For
but the
me, I didn't say you have to accept it.
no,
That is my own knowledge.
but the fact is a
So,
proven reality. You haven't proved, you
Okay,
haven't.
allegedly, so that I'll not see lawsuit.
ah, Lord have mercy. And you see, yeah,
I'm
I
out
think
of here. We'll see you
I
people.
don't think this
Voila
is
is
fair.
too much. See you.
I'll tell you this for free. I don't think it's fair. You know why? I'll give an example. I went somewhere for an interview. I
Hmm.
was sitting in a room with people that are public people. And they were talking about one particular female.
Mm.
The one of them in particular, that was my first time of meeting them in my life. So I was just sat there, and me, when I walk into a room, I'm always quiet to observe because I don't know who is there. I don't want to overyarn. So this person was talking about this particular female, about, and this one, this is how they chop this one, chop this one, chop this one. In other words, slut shaming the person.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad because when that person now came close, the hypocrisy of, oh my God, they're so two-faced.
Mm.
I admire you, I admire you, I admire you. Now, the person in question that was being slut shamed, I love this person, I admire this person, but I don't know this person. I know the person's public profile.
Mm.
Obviously, everybody knows the person's public profile, but these people don't even know where this person lives to start
Mm.
with. They don't know the person's house. They don't know this person, but they know people that know the person.
Listen. Yeah.
So the one question I was asking was, how do you know? And what they were saying was, this one that is different, this person said it now. This one that knows this, this
Mm.
one that they traveled together said this one that they traveled together. Now, it could be that the circle that person travels with must have heard one or two conversations to make
Yeah.
them conclude that this person is a slut. This person
Mm.
sells her body, and then populated that information to other people in their industry. It could be a possibility. But then remember, when you eavesdropping on people's conversations, you might never hear everything,
The full
and you
gist.
might
Yeah.
not hear, yeah, you might never hear the entire truth. You might hear fragments, but you might never hear the entire thing. And that's why I always tell people that when you watch shows like this, especially reality TV shows,
Mm.
learn to sieve the entertainment aspect of it, learn to see the moralistic aspect of it, get what you want, but try not to ever fully engage your entire personality in that show,
In that show,
because
I get you.
you never know the entire story. And that's why if you watch my videos, when I review these shows, I always repeat what was shown to
Mm.
us, how they were portrayed, what they said on the show. I don't roll, let me use this word, I don't roll in these people's circle. You know, I don't roll in that circle. They don't roll in my circle. So I don't know them back to home. And just like I said, that my mom, my siblings, they don't know up to even 70% of my life. It's a fact. They don't, because it's like that, right? It is the same for a lot of people. You
Yeah.
don't know. And as you rightly said, social media is a facade for a lot of people. People create a perception of themselves. Sometimes you see
Exactly.
people putting beautiful pictures on social media, but you don't see the struggle behind those pictures. And that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you that, yes, I understand that you know what you know. But as
Mm.
Bella rightly said, maybe next time use allegedly,
And I've
because
alleged now. I've alleged.
you don't know. All right, but let me let you go now. Wonderful
All right.
conversation with you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was a lot. Right now, I just felt like Sophia's, what they call it, is it advocate or what? Jesus. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I love the conversation that we've had, conversations with Auntie Fumi and conversations with you, amazing people. I need us to understand something, because I'm seeing somebody say Glory is one sided. Glory knows the truth. She's trying to support the liar. I don't know any truth. What I know is what I watched this entire season. I don't know the truth. I don't know Sophia's truth. I don't know what Sophia's family does, like in details. I don't know every single member of Sophia's family, but I know of Sophia, and I know of the story she has with Davido, and I know of what was shown to us on the show. Anything outside of that, I don't know. And I need us to keep that same energy. What you see on the show, that is what you know. Except Sophia has called you one day, sat you down, and told you all her secrets. And all of Sophia's family members, they've called you and they've told you all of their secrets, and they showed you their, in fact, the family will. Maybe they took you on a personal excursion where they showed you every single thing that they own. What you don't know, you don't know. What you don't know, you don't know. And I'll tell you this for free. For you to enjoy shows like The Real Housewives of Lagos, focus on the show. Period. Focus on the show. That's how you can get the best of the entertainment of the show. You will get triggered by certain things that will be said or acted. Try to remind yourself sometimes that it's part of the drama of the show. If these ladies don't give drama, we are still the ones that will say that the show was boring, the cast members are not good enough, the women don't even know how to act like proper Real Housewives women. Like people will always compare them to the cast members of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, of Potomac, of Dubai, of wherever. So let's try to enjoy the show the way it is. It does not mean you're not going to criticize. You would definitely criticize, but don't let it get too personal to the point where you want to start poking in the personal lives of these women. Personally, there are things I have also heard, but I cannot come here and tell you that it's a fact. It's a fact. Why? Because these are things that come up on social media. And with social media, you cannot entirely take everything on social media as a fact, except you were there and you saw these things with your own two eyes and you experienced these things firsthand. That is where you can come and give your own account and say, okay, this is a fact. But if you don't know, you don't know. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for your time. I enjoyed doing this with all of you tonight. Once again, special appreciation goes out to Auntie Fumi. Guys, please check out her YouTube channel as well. Also subscribe. She's an amazing person. And don't forget, for the part 2 of the reunion, she will be hosting me on her channel. So I think on a Tuesday like this, if I will communicate all of that information, I will be on her channel next week after the reunion show, probably on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know, but she will let me know when she prefers. And then, guys, I look forward to seeing all of you over there. Once again, thank you all so much for a splendid time out. I appreciate all of you for your presence. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a good night. Bye.